presentation of CBC Sports.
Tonight, the skyline of Edmonton has plenty of stars on its horizon. It's here for the 40th NHL All-Star Game that the People's Choice have gathered. Results of fan balloting have made Mario Lemieux the headliner for the Wales Conference. The #1 vote getter was the hero of last year's gala in St. Louis with a 6-point night. This year, his teammates will include Sean Burke, making his first stop at an All-Star game. Paul Coffey, a fan favorite in either conference, and another two-time Norris winner, Ray Bourque. The Campbell Conference counters with the one and only Wayne Gretzky. The best line on 99 is his line as he reunites with Jari Kurri, and they team with the leader of the Campbell balloting, Luc Robitaille. It's easy to see why the fans have taken a shining to Edmonton in anticipation of a starry night at the Northlands Coliseum.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.
Hangs on, scores! 40 to go in the period. Darling moving to the net. Stop, rebound, saved by Burke. Omar is trailing. Mullen it back, and he scores! Messier in front. Smith a shot, big save, rebound, he scores! He's in with a challenge, Gilmore. Lemieux looking, goes right in, scores!
Brought to you by Molson Canadian, what beer's all about. By Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment, quality is job one. And by Esso retailers and agents across Canada.
Good evening and welcome to the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton and to the 40th annual NHL All-Star Game. I'm Ron McLean in the studio because the arena proper is in darkness right now in preparation for the announcement of the starting lineups. There's a lot of fuss going on here in Edmonton in anticipation of this game, and you can understand why. The 40 best, it's a celebration of excellence and really has been a terrific couple of days. For the NHL players themselves, those who have become fan favorites, look at this as a chance to become friends. They've had the opportunity to fraternize, to socialize, but there's a little bit of an angle to the game this time around. Wayne Gretzky, as an LA King, returns again to the Northlands Coliseum and goes with Glenn Sather on the bench. And there's also the thought that the Campbell Conference is sick of losing this game. They've really had a rough run, and they say, believe it or not, they are serious in their preparation. I wish I could have been here for some of the festivities earlier in the last 48 hours. Katie Lang was terrific last night at the Jubilee Auditorium. There are plenty of names here. Yvonne Lendl, to name one. Katie Lang, Lee Greenwood. You'll have a chance to see both of those sing the national anthem. We'll also have the introduction of the 40 players who will partake in tonight's big game. Right now at ice level, while the players mill about in the dressing rooms, the world-renowned Shumka dancers, a Ukrainian troupe from Edmonton, are entertaining the fans, while the players get perhaps their nervous jitters out of the way in the dressing room with coaches Glenn Sather and Terry O'Reilly. Slats is 0-4 as a coach behind the Campbell bench, but all 4 of those games have been close. Terry O'Reilly had the chance to play in the first ever game featuring the Campbells versus Wales format. Both gentlemen are thrilled to have the opportunity to coach tonight, and both teams are anxious to get at it. We'll have more thoughts on this game when we come back. All-Star coverage returns in just a moment. This was the scene in Edmonton, Alberta last week. In fact, it was all over the prairies that they were gripped in this cold streak with lots of snow, lots of skidding, and temperatures that were bitterly cold. Fans in Edmonton are used to records falling on ice, but those that fell on ice last week fell outside the Northlands Coliseum. One who weathered the storm was our own Chris Cuthbert of Edmonton. Chris, how about an Edmonton perspective on this big All-Star Gala?
Well, you heard the joke about it being minus 99 when Wayne Gretzky was traded to Los Angeles here in Edmonton. It felt that cold last week, but things have warmed up, and certainly the anticipation of the All-Star Game has warmed up, largely because Wayne Gretzky is back. But unlike October the 19th, when he came back as a member of the Los Angeles Kings, tonight he'll be playing for the home team under Glenn Sather and alongside his old friend Jari Kurri. So there's a lot of excitement here that Gretzky is back without the pressure, and I think we can expect him to play a little better than October 19th.
Chris, it's really great to see Kurri and Gretzky together, and they play with Luc Robitaille, who says he's not sure how to act. What do you think he'll do?
He'll just stay out of the way, I think, but remember, he had more votes than Gretzky and Kurri. I wonder who's going to take the penalty shot if one is awarded with those 3 guys on the ice.
How about Edmonton getting excited about an All-Star game when they've been to the Stanley Cup 5 of the last 6 years? Are the people of Edmonton excited about this?
You know, it was a slow build-up, and I wondered if they were until today. You should have seen the skate 10,000 kids screaming as they watched everybody on the ice, everybody wanting an autograph. I went through the crowd and asked them who their favorite was, and they almost covered all 40 players. There's something for everybody here in Edmonton, I think.
Seeking an autograph is really the signature of what makes this game so great, and we're going to get to that shortly. The introduction of those who will handle the accounts of the game, plus one of our retrospectives. Throughout the night, we'll look back at some of the great All-Star games of the past. From the Northlands Coliseum, we get set for the 40th annual, and we will be right back. In 1947, the NHL decided to institute an All-Star game. At the beginning of each season, the NHL All-Stars would meet the Stanley Cup champions from the previous season. The 47 contest was played in Toronto, the Leafs jumping out to an early lead. The game was marred by an injury to Bill Mosienko, the Chicago Star center who suffered a broken leg. His Chicago teammate, Doug Bentley, proved to be the hero that night as he scored the game winner in a 4-3 All-Star victory. The present format for the NHL All-Star Game dates back to 1975, the Wales versus the Campbells. 12 games have been played since the introduction of that format. And as you can clearly see, the Wales has dominated 10 victories. The Wales has won the last 4 games, but those games have been very close. 3 were decided by a goal and the other a score of 6-4 in favor of the Wales. As I say, although this is a fun evening, the Campbells are serious. They'd like to make it 3 in the win column. The gentlemen who will handle the accounts of tonight's game here at Northlands Coliseum, 3 who have seen a few All-Star games: Dick Irvin, Bob Cole, and Harry Neal. The introduction of the players at ice level is coming up shortly, but we thought you'd enjoy a sneak preview of the players in action. Here's a look at the 40 tops with a special All-Star musical score. And as you know, the music's not the only thing that's classic about this evening. The 40 best of the NHL gathering together in Edmonton for a chance to meet and also to get at it, and they'll do that shortly. The Shumka dancers have just concluded at ice level, and they'll now have the Zamboni come out, flood the ice, and then prepare for the introduction of the starting 12 as selected by you, the fans. This is the 40th annual National Hockey League All-Star Game, and we'll be back with more pregame thoughts live. This is Molson Hockey Net in Canada on CBC from it. Rookie was the star in the 37th annual All-Star Game, had a distinctly Western flavor. Lemieux did not waste his first taste of the big time. This second period goal made it 4-2 Wales. Then in the third, he scored the game winner.
On the left side, Muller off the bench catches up. Lemieux scores! Lemieux!
The 19-year-old Lemieux's MVP performance was the first by any rookie in an All-Star game and was a hint of things to come. This is the scene presently here at the Coliseum. The players milling about. These, of course, from the Wales Conference All-Star team, dressed in their traditional black, and you'll also have the chance to meet the Campbell Conference All-Stars momentarily. Scotty Bowman, one of our colleagues, has been a member of several All-Star games. Is it any wonder that we would seek Scotty's perspectives on this game? For the last couple of days, he's been out and about in the city of Edmonton to share some of those great moments.
I can identify with Coach Glenn Sather, who coaches here in Edmonton and is coaching in the All-Star game tonight with Coach Terry O'Reilly. A special feeling for a coach in an All-Star game. He selects the players to fill in the roster to try to win this hockey game. He also has a special insight into players that are on the opposing teams during the regular season. Somewhere down the line in another big game, the coach can use what he got in this All-Star game, knowing the player is a little different than he was when he was with the opposition.
Here comes Gretzky again with Curry. Gretzky into the slot. He scores!
The NHL All-Star Game has had different formats. Starting in 1947, the Stanley Cup winner against the All-Star team. Presently, conference against conference allows the fans in the different cities to see the best players play against the best players. I feel this system is the best. Also, we've had the fans looking and voting for the top players in the game. And for the last 4 years, including Rendezvous 87, for the most part, they've selected the best players available, even though they've had some criticism. Coming to Edmonton for this All-Star game brings back a flood of memories for me. The 1969 All-Star game in Montreal, East Division against West Division, Bobby Orr and Doug Harvey in that game. But in 1980, Gordie Howe, over 50 years of age, returns to Detroit for his final 23rd All-Star appearance, gets an assist on the final goal for the winning team. I have other All-Star memories, and I cherish every one of them.
Thank you, Scotty. The winningest coach in National Hockey League history couldn't even find a way to foul up the All-Star games. He was successful everywhere, it seemed, that he found his way behind the bench. Well, the players are anxious to get underway with the 40th annual NHL All-Star game. Let's go ringside now, and public address announcer Mark Lewis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Edmonton, Alberta, for the 40th National Hockey League All-Star Game. Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to the Zamboni entrance for the introduction of the All-Star teams from the Wales and Campbell conferences. Here to present them to you is the radio voice of the Edmonton Oilers, Rod Phillips.
Of the Prince of Wales Conference All-Star team. Playing in his first All-Star game, he enjoyed his best season last year as he backstopped the Boston Bruins to the Stanley Cup Finals. Number 1, goaltender Reggie Lemelin. One of the hardest body checkers in hockey, selected to the NHL's postseason All-Star team last season. Playing in his second All-Star game. From the Washington Capitals, number 3, defenseman Scott Stevens. Selected to the NHL All-Rookie team in 1983. He's topped the 20-goal mark 4 times in his NHL career. Appearing in his second All-Star game from the Buffalo Sabres, number 6 defenseman Phil Housley. Spark plug of the Hartford Whalers and their leading scorer this year. He's averaged over 30 goals in each of his 4 NHL seasons. Making his second All-Star game appearance, number 11, Kevin Dineen. Playing in his first NHL All-Star game, his dramatic overtime goal put the New Jersey Devils in the playoffs last season. For the first time, their leading scorer, number 14, right wing John McLean. A former Calder Trophy winner as NHL Rookie of the Year. He's playing in his third All-Star game. A member of the 1986 Stanley Cup champions from the Montreal Canadiens, number 15, center Bobby Smith. The Canadian Major Junior Player of the Year in 1983. He led the New York Islanders in scoring last season, and he's leading again this season. playing in his second All-Star game, number 16 center, Pat LaFontaine. Making his All-Star game debut, a former Canadian University Player of the Year. He was selected to the NHL All-Rookie team in 1986. The Washington Capitals' leading scorer, number 17 center, Mike Ridley. A 5-time 20-goal scorer, making his All-Star debut. He's one half of the first U.S.-born brother combination to ever face each other in an All-Star game. From the New York Rangers, number 18, right winger, Brian Mullen. Playing in his 9th NHL All-Star game. A 2-time Norris Trophy winner and 6-time Stanley Cup champion. From the Montreal Canadiens, defenseman and Wales Conference captain, number 19, Larry Robinson. A first-time All-Star, he combines rugged play with offensive strength as a main cog and leading scorer of the Philadelphia Flyers. Number 22, right wing, Rick Tocchet. A former junior hockey All-Star making his NHL All-Star debut. A member of last year's NHL All-Rookie team. From the Boston Bruins, number 25, defenseman Glenn Wesley. The quintessential unsung hero, a fine all-round player and Stanley Cup champion. He's enjoying his best season on left wing for the Montreal Canadiens, number 35, Mike McPhee. The 1987 Canadian Major Junior Player of the Year. Playing in his first All-Star game, he topped the 40-goal mark last weekend. From the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 44, right wing, Rob Brown. Playing in his first All-Star game in his last 2 NHL seasons, he scored 40 and 38 goals. He already has 30 as the leading scorer for the Quebec Nordiques this season, number 75 center, Walt Poddubny. And now here is the starting lineup for the Wales Conference as voted by you, the fans in Chrysler Canada Dodge NHL All-Star fan balloting. Although voted to the starting Wales team at left wing, he is unable to play due to injury. He set an All-Star game record last year with 5 assists. A Stanley Cup champion and the 1988 Lady Byng Trophy winner at the Wales Conference bench from the Montreal Canadiens, Matt Snaslin. The first rookie ever voted to the starting All-Star lineup. He led the New Jersey Devils into the playoffs and then the conference championship last season. Number 30 goaltender Sean Burke. A 2-time Norris Trophy winner, playing in his 7th All-Star game. The NHL's top scoring defenseman this season. A 3-time Stanley Cup champion is an Edmonton Oiler. From the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 7, Paul Coffey. Winner of the Norris Trophy the past 2 seasons as the NHL's top defenseman. He has been an NHL postseason All-Star in each of his 9 campaigns. Captain of the Boston Bruins, number 77, Ray Bourque. He scored a career-high 42 goals last season and was voted as the starting right winger this year. Playing in his 2nd All-Star game, the Boston Bruins' leading scorer, number 8, Cam Neely. The MVP in 2 of his 3 NHL All-Star games. Winner of the Hart Trophy last season is the NHL's most valuable player. The league's leading scorer, captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins, number 66, center, Mario Lemieux. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the Wales Conference bench and let's meet the staff and coaches for the Prince of Wales Conference All-Star team. First, the trainers for the Wales Conference. From the New York Rangers, Dave Smith, and from the Buffalo Sabres, Rip Simonek. The assistant coach in his 3rd year behind the bench from the Boston Bruins, John Cuniff, and the head coach, a former Boston Bruin firebrand, He brought his enthusiastic approach behind the bench and took his Bruins to the Stanley Cup Finals last season in his first full year as coach, Terry O'Reilly. And now here are the All-Stars from the Clarence Campbell Conference. Making his NHL All-Star debut, a former U.S. Collegiate All-Star. His 17 goals this season are already a personal best. From the Winnipeg Jets, number 2, defenseman Dave Ellett. Playing in his first NHL All-Star game, a former junior hockey All-Star, a first-round draft choice in 1985. Enjoying his best season to date. From the Chicago Blackhawks, number 3, defenseman Dave Manson. A former collegiate All-Star playing in his first NHL All-Star game. He's topped the 40-goal mark in each of his last 5 seasons. The elder Mullen brother from the Calgary Flames, number 7, right wing Joe Mullen. He's had 6 straight seasons of at least 30 goals. His 52 goals and 61 assists this season are already new career highs. Playing in his second All-Star game from the Los Angeles Kings, number 9, center Bernie Nichols. His first All-Star appearance, an All-Star defenseman as a junior. He was converted to right wing and scored 30 goals last season. From the Toronto Maple Leafs, number 10, Gary Lehman. A 4-time Stanley Cup champion playing in his 6th All-Star game. On 4 occasions, he's reached the 100-point plateau. Captain of the Edmonton Oilers, number 11, center Mark Messier. With 55 goals for Los Angeles last season, he was selected to the 1987 NHL All-Rookie team. Now as an Edmonton Oiler, he's on his way to another 50-goal campaign. Number 12, center Jimmy Carson. In his first NHL All-Star game, this former Canadian Collegiate All-Star scored 32 goals in his first full NHL season. The leading scorer for the St. Louis Blues, number 16, right wing Brett Hull. Playing in his 4th All-Star game, he scored his 50th goal of the season last weekend. The 2nd straight year he's accomplished that feat. Captain of the Detroit Red Wings, number 19, center Steve Yzerman. He's topped the 40-goal mark 4 times and twice topped 50 goals. The leading scorer in Minnesota North Stars history, making his 3rd All-Star appearance, number 20, right wing Dino Ciccarelli. The 1986 NHL Rookie of the Year, playing in his 3rd All-Star game, a postseason NHL All-Star in 1988. From the Calgary Flames, number 21, defenseman Gary Suter. Playing in his 2nd All-Star game, the top-scoring defenseman in Calgary Flames history, now enjoying a fine comeback from injuries as a Vancouver Canuck, number 23, defenseman Paul Reinhart. A former U.S. Collegiate All-Star and All-American playing in his 2nd All-Star game. Last year's NHL Rookie of the Year with a 51-goal season. From the Calgary Flames, number 25, center Joe Nieuwendyk. Playing in his 2nd straight NHL All-Star game, this former junior All-Star won a league-high 39 games last season. The goaltender for the Calgary Flames, number 30, Mike Vernon. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Campbell Conference starting lineup as voted by the fans in Chrysler Canada Dodge NHL All-Star fan balloting. A 4-time Stanley Cup champion, the 1986 All-Star Game MVP, last season's winner of the Vezina Trophy for top NHL goaltender. From the Edmonton Oilers, number 31, Grant Fuhr. A 4-time Stanley Cup champion selected to the starting lineup for the 2nd straight year. playing in his 5th All-Star game from the Edmonton Oilers, number 4, defenseman Kevin Lowe. Voted to the starting lineup in his first All-Star appearance, a member of the All-Rookie team in 1987. Among the league leaders in plus-minus this season, from the Los Angeles Kings, number 28 defenseman Steve Duchesne. A 4-time Stanley Cup champion in his 5th All-Star game, a former Lady Byng Trophy winner, a 4-time 50-goal scorer. He notched his 500th career assist this past weekend. From the Edmonton Oilers, number 17, right wing, Jari Kurri. His 53 goals last year earned him a berth in the postseason All-Star team. Playing in his 2nd All-Star game, the 1987 NHL Rookie of the Year from the Los Angeles Kings, number 22, left wing, Luc Robitaille. A 4-time Stanley Cup champion, 7 times NHL leading scorer, 8 times NHL MVP. Now the 2nd leading scorer of all time. From the Los Angeles Kings, voted starting center, number 99, Captain Wayne Gretzky. The training staff from the Edmonton Oilers, Peter Miller, Barry Stafford, and Kip Patch. Behind the bench from the Edmonton Oilers, co-coach John Muckler and assistant coach Ted Green. And for the 5th consecutive NHL All-Star game, the coach of the Campbell Conference All-Stars, the president, general manager, and coach of the 4-time and defending Stanley Cup champion Edmonton Oilers, Glenn Sather. The officials for tonight's game. First, the backup official, who has worked nearly 350 NHL games, Bob Hall. The linesman for tonight's game, with over 1,500 games of NHL experience between them, Ron Asselstein and Wayne Bonney. The referee, who worked his 800th NHL game last month, an 18-year NHL veteran, Ron Hogarth. Ladies and gentlemen, we direct your attention to center ice. At this time, let's greet the honorary captains for tonight's game. The honorary captain of the Wales Conference is an honored member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, a native of Provost, Alberta. He starred for 20 NHL seasons with the Detroit Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs before ending his career with the Edmonton Oilers in the WHA. A veteran of 11 All-Star games, ladies and gentlemen, Norm Ullman. The honorary captain of the Campbell Conference, a native of Edmonton, was one of the most effective two-way players in the NHL during the 1960s and early 1970s. He was Norm's line mate in Detroit and also played with the New York Rangers before concluding his playing career with the Edmonton Oilers. Now the assistant general manager of the Oilers, Bruce McGregor. The captain of the Wales Conference team, Larry Robinson, will now present Norm with his Wales team sweater, and the captain of the Campbell Conference, Wayne Gretzky, will present Bruce with the Campbell sweater. Thank you, gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to direct your attention to the Zamboni entrance. The honor guard this evening are members of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Would you please welcome Sergeant Claire Gill, who is Division Coordinator of the NHL RCMP Drug Awareness Program, and Constable Dan Siebel. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to have two very special guests with us tonight, all-stars from the music world, to perform our national anthems. To sing the Star-Spangled Banner, this gentleman has been awarded 4 gold albums and has been named the Male Vocalist of the Year by the Country Music Association, Music City News, Cashbox Magazine, and the Academy of Country Music. In 1985, he captured a coveted Grammy Award for his mega hit, God Bless the USA. Last month, he spent a week in Washington, D.C. at the invitation of President George Bush, performing at the presidential galas. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join us in welcoming from Nashville, Tennessee, MCA recording artist, Mr. Lee Greenwood.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Lee Greenwood. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we take great pleasure in introducing our guest singer for the Canadian National Anthem. This young lady has exploded onto the North American music scene with her powerful vocal stylings, culminating last month by being nominated for 3 Grammy Awards. In 1988, she was awarded Album of the Year, Female Vocalist of the Year, and was named Entertainer of the Year at the Canadian Country Music Awards, and was chosen Canada's Woman of the Year by Chatelaine Magazine. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Sire recording artist, Alberta's own Katie Lane.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we thee rise, a true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh,
evening, everybody. Now we're speaking to you from the broadcast booth here at the Coliseum, the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. I'm Bob Cole with Dick Urban and Harry Neal. What an array of talent out there on the ice now, warming up. Wayne Gretzky, I think, Dick, and Mario Lemieux have something to settle tonight. I don't know, you get the feeling talking to them today in a very quiet way. They want to come here tonight and really turn it on. I don't believe I've ever seen in an all-star game hockey players so up as they are for this one. You get that feeling?
John Muckler, the assistant coach with the Capitals tonight and with the Oilers, of course, was saying last year in St. Louis, so-so. But now this year, and the return of Wayne to Edmonton, this is only the second time he's played here. He was here for the big opening in October when he came back with the Kings. That has added something because the Campbells haven't been winning very much. Now here they are, the stars of the Campbells, coached by Glenn Sather. They're in this building. This is the Stanley Cup building from last year, and it's added that. And certainly, Harry, they're going to have a Campbell Conference crowd on their side tonight. You could tell that from the introductions. Nice, polite, enthusiastic to a degree for the Wales, but big ovations for the Campbell players.
Especially Wayne Gretzky, a very touching and I think very meaningful 2 or 3 minute ovation for number 99 as he was the last player to be introduced for the Campbell Conference teams. And you know, Gretzky's desire to make this a little more than a normal all-star game will rub off on his teammates, I'm sure. We've seen that rub-off work in LA this year.
Well, of course, you're coming off the much-remembered game in St. Louis last year when Mario did his thing with 6 points, including the winning goal in overtime. The last time the All-Star game was played in this province, as you saw the clip at the beginning of the show, he was the outstanding player in his rookie year in the National Hockey League. So we hope for a good one tonight. Bob, you better be at the ready because as Ron Hogarth blows the whistle, he might not be blowing it all that much in this game. These guys go end to end, not much in the way of penalties usually, and it's pretty good, pure hockey from 40 of the best hockey players in the world.
In his 18th season in the National Hockey League, Ron Hogarth, the referee, Ron Asseltine and Wayne Bonney, the linesman, in their 10th year. And for all three, their very first All-Star game. And they're delighted to be here, too. The goaltenders is voted #1 by fans around the league. From the New Jersey Devils and starting for the Wales Conference, Sean Burke. Reggie Lemelin of the Boston Bruins is the backup. Grant Fuhr again is the #1 goalie in the voting for the Campbell Conference. Calgary Flames' Mike Vernon is his backup. And the starting lineups: Gretzky, Robitaille, Curry, Lowe, and Duchesne for the Campbells. They're in the white. And in the black jerseys, Lemieux, Neely, and Brown, with Bork and Coffey. This should be a real good hockey game here in Edmonton tonight. We're delighted to have you with us. Now let's watch the stars of the National Hockey League go to work. Kevin Lowe plays it to center ice. Fired into the Wales Conference zone. Robitaille moved up, cleared it to Gretzky. Gretzky gave it to who else? Curry in front to Lowe. Lowe tipped it back to the net. Gretzky again, looking for Curry. Little pressure on already by the Campbell Conference, thanks to Gretzky. Here's Curry. Oh, what a great save by Burke. Gretzky and Curry obviously delighted to be back together again. Now a chance as the Wales Conference come in, but they're not in very long. Robitaille, Gretzky, back to Robitaille. Robitaille to Gretzky. Oh, and he was just caught in time by Paul Coffey, or Gretzky might have opened the scoring right there. Gretzky left it. Robitaille takes it. Look at this. Curry scores. Oh, what power. What finesse. What class. And it's 1-0 for the Campbell Conference.
Well, it didn't take very long for these two superstars, 99 and 17. A great backhand pass by Gretzky to Curry. And when he got in alone on Sean Burke, he made no mistake.
Of course, this has been one of the attractions of this game. Gretzky and Curry reunited. When Glenn Sather at the news conference yesterday said, yeah, I'll play them on the same line again. That's what everybody wants. And right now, they got what they came to see with goal #1 after only 1 minute and 7 seconds.
Now Messier wearing number 11 for the Campbells, winning the draw at center ice, shooting it in. Deneen missed a pass at center for the Wales. The Wales are in black. Here come the Campbells again with a shot by Mullen. And that's knocked away. Wales coming back out. That's Bobby Smith of the Canadians, number 15, rolling it in there. It's tipped high into the corner. Far side trying to clear it out was Joe Mullen. Couldn't do it. Right in front of the net it comes. And it's cleared to center ice by the Campbells. That's young Glenn Wesley. Youngest player here tonight, number 25 for the Wales Conference. He started the clearing play. Now Scott Stevens in his second All-Star game, but stopped at the Campbell blue line. Here's Dino Cicerelli, number 20. Didn't get too far. Steve Yzerman, the smoothie from Detroit, in his fifth All-Star game, is on the ice now, wearing the familiar number 19. Coming in on the play, Pat LaFontaine into the corner to Brian Mullen. Mullen falls. Puck along the boards, and Reinhardt tried to clear it out. Fior just now getting his first chance to play the puck. Stopped it at the side of the net. Up the center ice. This Campbell Conference team looking very strong in the early going, leading 1-0. Now the Wales Conference coming in at center. LaFontaine, great save. Fior down again. On a goaltender watching there, folks. Grant Fior, voted number 1 by the fans, and you saw why right there twice. Great save by Fior. Then on the rebound. So still 1-0 for the Campbell Conference on the Curry goal. This is Manson coming back. Campbell's on the move. 3 of them. Hull takes it and goes in. Breaks for the net. Trying to get it out, but was stopped by Ray Bourque. Bourque played it up to center ice. Campbell's breaking up. Hull tipped it at the line. A good play. Carson drilled it. And Bourque made a stop on that hard shot. Wales Conference back out again. Down on the right side. Rick Tocchet looking for it. Hooked it over in front of the net. Fior reaching out. Tried to clear it himself and couldn't do it. That's Ridley trying to center it. Gets it in front. It was deflected away from Podupny. Up to center is Hull again. He got a good shot. Got it high. And Bourque just knocked it away. Called Coffey. Played it back. Bourque. Here's 2 fine defensemen for the Wales Conference. They get the puck up across the line, and it's cleared to who else? Gretzky again. Coming in. Gretzky dropped it over. Curry. Can't believe that play. And Bourque made a sensational save. Gretzky finding, but here's Lemieux. Oh, the pass in front. This is great action. In back of the net. To the side of the net. Brown centered it. Shot by Neely. Stopped Lemieux. Get to Neely. Another chance. Lemieux knocked down. Referee standing right there. Allows the play to go on. And Gretzky takes that opportunity to move it out. Curry again. Gretzky. Wow. Saved by Bourque. This is terrific. Here's right in front. They score. What a line they've got on there now. 2-0. Oh, brother.
4.5 minutes gone in the hockey game, and 99 has a goal and an assist. Harry, this is his first goal in this building since the trade. Is he here to play tonight, to use the old cliche?
Watch the move he makes after he takes this pass. And Sean Bourque just gets caught going the wrong way and is in a helpless position when Wayne Gretzky puts it in. 2 goals, Gretzky and Curry combining, and Curry should have had one earlier.
Wow. 2-0. 4:33 the time. Gretzky from Duchesne. Here's a chance in front of Fior. McPhee had moved in but couldn't find it. That's Nieuwendyk, number 25, shooting it in. Mullen took the shot. Stopped at the side of the net. Campbell's looking for more. They're up 2-0. Suter plays into Reinhardt on the other side. Back in through the middle to Messier. And another shot from a sharp angle. No problem. Out front is Mullen. Now on this side, Mullen gets another pass but was knocked to the ice. Deneen comes back down the ice for the Wales Conference. Fired it in front. B came close, but that's all. And the puck is cleared back into the Wales conference zone. Icing is called. They'll bring it back up the ice. 2-0. The Campbells out front. Curry at 107. Gretzky at 433. And Gretzky, Dick, has 2 points. You know he's going to get a bundle tonight, I think. 2 is not a bad start. A little over 3 minutes. A little over 4 minutes. Yzerman's pass through the middle. Here's another Sharpie, Steve Yzerman, number 19, going in there forechecking. Good move by Stevens to get the play going up to center. LaFontaine backhands it in there. Muir was about to come out, then backed up. Saw the checkers coming back. Bernie Nichols pass across to center ice. Manson moving up there in front. Yzerman, another chance. Yzerman drilled it and just missed. John Burke getting peppered here in the early going of this all-star game here in Edmonton. LaFontaine rolled it in, goes for the net, but he was checked in time. Cicerelli backs up a little bit. Fired a pass dangerously in front of his own net with Mullen in there, Brian Mullen. Here's Bork. Ray Bork starting out. A long pass, a little too far, really. Goes all the way down the ice. They're going to call that icing, I think. Yes, they will. Icing is called against the Wales Conference. 2-0, the Campbells.
Glenn Sather, you know, there was a little method to his madness on his pickups after the original 6 were voted in by the fans. He wasted no pickups that couldn't score or produce points. On the other hand, O'Reilly picked up some grinders.
All right, the Wales are coming in on this play. Into the corner. Bork trying to knock it in front. Comes back to the line. Bork again just fired it in there. And you're covered.
Well, each to his own, I guess, Harry. Terry O'Reilly picked up the grinders, as you say. Perfect example, Matt Snazzle injured. Mike McPhee takes his place. O'Reilly worked his team a little harder this morning and a little more seriously than did Sather, with about 9,000 kids looking on.
Campbell Conference starting up again. That's Carson, number 12, but he lost it at the blue line. And Bork with Coffey on the defense. That was Coffey who cleared it back down. Campbell's leading 2-0 and moving out. Carson dropped it back. That's to Shane, getting it up across the line to Carson. He could move it on. Back out for Ray Bork to Coffey. Coffey and Bork. What a twosome on the defense for the Wales Conference. Kevin Lowe dealing the first hit of the game. Puck cleared in and Bork grabs it. Near center ice. Coming up on the play, foul shot, stop. Burke out to cut the angle. Chance on that Ridley. Play called.
You don't see many body checks in the All-Star game, but you don't see any better than that in the playoffs. As Kevin Lowe shakes up Ridley from the Wales Conference.
Gretzky on the ice again. He has set up one and scored the other. 2-0. Campbell Conference. Neely plays it up to center ice. Rob Brown gave it to Lemieux. Back to the line and a long shot screened and knocked away from in front of the goal by Curry. It's out over the line. Robinson back. The veteran in his 9th All-Star game. Larry Robinson gets it up across center. That's where Reinhart played it on the boards away from Lemieux. Back in for Robitaille. Gretzky hooked it back to the line, but Suter failed to move in. Again, Gretzky to Robitaille. Robitaille coming in, waits for help. Pass to his front, Suter. Robinson covered up in time. Pucking back in the net. Curry trying to dig it out, but it's Brown giving it to Mario. He's coming in there now, trying to get around Reinhart. He'll do that. One hands it in front. Rolled along the goal line. Gretzky is on the move on the right. And Robitaille comes up there with him. Mishandled the pass, so now it's onside. Gretzky takes it in there again. Gretzky around the net. Took a shot, and another. And Burke to go down quickly. Gretzky having a heck of a period. And there are 2 more to come. Rob Brown in back of the goal, dumped it out front. Here's Brown at the goal mouth now. And Muir covers again.
Rob Brown is over the 40-goal mark. That's what happens when you play alongside Mary Lemieux, but he's got a lot more going for him than that. He's going to be a terrific goal scorer. He knows where the net is and where to be, right place, right time. I guess in that regard, he's a good player without the puck, and he's had a couple of chances. One just before this, he didn't make contact with the puck, but there he is, parked at the right spot, and fanned on the first try, a tad over anxious, perhaps, at the crease.
Curry and Gretzky have scored the goals. Here's a chance now with McPhee getting a shot at Fuhr. Bobby Smith has it. McPhee is out in front of the net, and a backhander, not a hard one, was just wide. Housley tried to dump it in front. Comes back to the line. A penalty coming up. Here's a shot drilled from the line. That misses. Penalty coming up against the Campbell Conference. It's the first penalty called in the hockey game as Burke rushed to the bench. They have the extra man on, but the play was stopped.
Mark Messier, who doesn't get many holding penalties in regular season play, is getting quite a laugh out of this one. He was a little too anxious right there. As you can see, he's got a hold of the Wales forward trying to get some territory in front of the net, and for it gets a well-deserved penalty.
Mario Lemieux, Neely, and Brown, the forward line there for the Wales Conference on this power play. That is Scott Stevens, number 3. Back of the net. Mario got it out front. He scored! Very good pass from behind the net to Cam Neely. And it's in, a power play goal.
Well, it's a 2-1 hockey game for the Campbells. And point-wise, it's Gretzky 2 and Lemieux 1 on the pass out from behind. Cam Neely hopped to it right in front of the net as Lemieux worked some of his magic, taking a look, waiting a bit, and Fuhr had no chance. Bang, bang, from just in front of the goal crease, and we've got a 2-1 game on a quick power play goal by the Wales Conference.
Lemieux had to put that puck up in the air, then get it over the defenseman's stick, and it landed right on the ice on Cam Neely's stick.
9:47, the time of the goal by Neely. Stevens will also get an assist. Lemieux set it up from behind the net. John McLean, number 14 for the Wales Conference, took care of that. Right in front again. A chance by Joe Mullen. That was tipped away by Burke. The center, the puck going, flying to the far side, but they were offside. Bork shooting it in.
Well, Raymond Bourque is coming off an injury not that long ago. A knee injury sidelined him for quite a while out of the lineup of the Boston Bruins. 2 straight Norris Trophy wins. This is his 8th All-Star game. He is just the perennial, as the saying goes. Every year he is picked to the starting lineup, it seems. Not a bad group of 7 there on the blue line, Harry. 77 and 7, Bourque and Coffey.
Mark Messier now in for Nieuwendyk. And it goes to Burke, who just slipped it away to the corner to his right. Bourque starting to play to get it ahead. LaFontaine breaking in there. He's right in. But he couldn't get a shot away now. It came off the stick behind the net. And I'll tell you, Fuhr had to be very careful and very quick to stop it as Joe Mullen tipped it and went over the net.
Landed on the top of the net, the mesh on the top of the net. LaFontaine saw the mesh move, threw his arms up. But Pat was on the wrong side of the mesh. That's LaFontaine. Now watch the puck go up off your stick, come down right on the top of the net.
In the voting for the starting center in the Wales Conference, I guess the question has to be who's going to be second. Well, it was Pat LaFontaine this year, and he gets a kick out of that. We're going to see more smiles here tonight, Bob. The penalty bench and the players' bench than we normally see in the regular season.
Larry Robinson sets it up. Podubny got in there, scores! Robinson shooting it from the blue line, and there was a loose puck in front of Fuhr, and now we're tied.
And you can tell again that this is a crowd that is cheering for the Campbells, the home team. Walt Podubny of the Quebec Nordics, after the shot comes in from Larry Robinson right here in front. Podubny on the rebound, flips it high, Fuhr down, scrambling, can't reach it. He got a 2-2 tie.
Great patience showed by Podubny. Look how long he waits for Fuhr to go down before he puts it up. Walt Podubny scored in every league and with every team he played for. 30 goals already.
And it's his very first All-Star game, so it's first All-Star goal. Walt Podubny tying the game here in the first period at 10:38. And they come in again, led by Ridley. He dropped it over in front of the net. Tocken missed him, though. And the Campbells get moving down the other way. Yzerman coming up, pass to right in front. And a shot was deflected off Nichols' stick, and it went up high and into the crowd. But Nichols had a good scoring chance there. They played just 11 minutes and a second of the first period. We've already had 4 goals and a bunch of other great chances. Nichols fired one by in front of the net. Yzerman going over there after it. Yzerman a fine forechecker, gets it back in front. And Burke had to be sharp to stop a shot from Cicerelli. Little pressure by the Campbell Conference now. Yzerman, Nichols, and Cicerelli, and they keep it in. There's Yzerman again in the corner. Bumped lightly by Stevens. Got the puck to Nichols on the side of the net. Burke down, made a save, and he had to sprawl to keep it out on the other side. Once again, Bernie Nichols circles back to his own blue line. Gets away from Mike Ridley. Nichols to Lowe. Lowe shoots one in. It hit the defenseman at the blue line, Phil Housley, and then they call it on the offside.
That shot that Bob calls Cicerelli's the 20th shot of the game, 10 for each team.
Kevin Lowe playing in his 4th All-Star game, and you know he's now the leader of games played with the Edmonton Oilers, 737, passing Gretzky. As Gretzky is now piling up a few for the LA Kings.
Talk about that body check. Sunday afternoon, Kevin Lowe hit Pat Conacher of the New Jersey Devils with what has to be the body check of the year in the NHL. To his credit, Conacher got up, went to the bench, and was back playing the same period. It was brutal.
Kevin Dineen is logging it in there now for the Wales Conference. McPhee shoots it to him behind the net. Smith couldn't find it, and the Campbells get rolling again up the center. This is Hall racing in, but they're offside, and Lehman went in ahead of the play, and that stopped it.
Brad Hall, this is his first taste of All-Star play, although I'm sure his dad took him to a few of the games he played. He's the leading scorer with the Blues. 1986-87, he was the Hockey News Minor League Player of the Year. And he gives the St. Louis Blues a star, a legit star, as Bernie Federko is fading slightly at 34 years old.
Hall couldn't stop the pass. McPhee dropped it back to Dineen. His shot is blocked by Suter. Wales keep it in, though. Bobby Smith tried to center it, and it's cleared off the boards and down the ice. Carson trying to race in there. Burke will come out to play it because Carson gave it a fine effort going in. Bobby Smith starting back up for the Wales Conference. Score tied 2-2. Here's McPhee, and he missed that pass and hopped over his stick. And again, Burke will come out as he sees Hall just gliding in there. Neely, who has scored one of the goals, nearly gave it up in front of the net. Ellen moving up from the blue line to shoot it back to the goal. Coffey came right in front of the net. He steered out, though. Ellen played it to the far side. Lehman tried a shot. That'll end up back in the Campbell Conference zone. Dave Ellen back in his first All-Star game also. There's a nice play to center ice. Curry coming up there. Gretzky was on the far side, but Curry couldn't get the pass to him. Manson has to hustle back, but Lemieux got it over in front. Here's Mario Lemieux again looking for it. It got away from him, though. And Gretzky starts out with Robitaille. Curry coming up. Gretzky into Curry, and breaking it up was Neely, who got back. Mario Lemieux starts to play in. Mario Lemieux going in. Backhands it wide on the short side. Robitaille dumped it up. Duchesne coming in. Curry at the line, takes the pass. Now Gretzky. And Burke has to be there to stop that shot from Gretzky on a fine passing play again by this Campbell Conference.
Two great drop passes end up with this chance as Wayne Gretzky fires one. And Sean Burke makes another big save, and he's had a bundle against the Gretzky line tonight.
Now the puck comes to Lowe at the blue line. Sharp angle. He tried to get in a better position for his shot. Now has to just flick it off the glass into the corner. Wales Conference get it out. Housley had moved up. Here's Stevens. Tipped it ahead, and Kevin Lowe has it again. Up to Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk coming in there with Joe Mullen, shoots it in, and Burke steps out of the net with Nieuwendyk coming in looking for it. Mullen is on the boards, but it's steered away by John McLean. He gets it up to center ice, and Housley rushing in. A good pass, and Muir had to make a nice save on a quick shot by LaFontaine. Nieuwendyk in there, dropped it back to Messier, in the slot to Mullen, and again, Brian Mullen breaks it up and starts to play the other way. LaFontaine in there with McLean going in, and a shot on the short side, missed by a foot or two. Bernie Nichols now with Mark Messier. Messier looking for Mullen, hit the goal post on a bullet shot from the right wing. Adopney dropped it in neatly to Coffey. And a fine defensive play by Suter to stop Coffey from going in on Grant Fjord. Here's Ridley at the blue line. Into the slot and back to Coffey. Another hard shot blocked by Suter. In front of the net, he's away. Up to Nichols. Nichols played it up on the right side. Tried to go in front of the net, and Burke tried to be careful. Scooping it up off the ice. It was rolling to the short side. He held it.
Joe Mullen, 5 times 40 goals, and yet this is only his first All-Star game. Unbelievable. And this is what he does best, shoot it. He's got Burke beaten on this one. And rattles off the crossbar, back out into the front of the net. And that could have been the 3rd goal.
Yzerman, Cicerelli, and Nichols against Podupny, Tocchet, and Ridley. The Wales Conference, Podupny, Tocchet, and Ridley line. 2-2 is the score. 4:20 left in the opening period. Coming in is Yzerman. Yzerman looks over to the front of the net. Now he goes there himself. Nearly got that pass, but it was picked off just in time and cleared out by Larry Robinson. Nichols shoots it back in for Yzerman too far. Glenn Wesley tipped it to center ice. Comes back to Suter of the Campbell Conference. Campbell's in white, Wales in the dark jersey. Yzerman, number 19, played it up across the line to Cicerelli. To Nichols, he's making the shot. Now tried to hit Yzerman, but it went in behind him. Kept in by Reinhardt. Yzerman takes it again. Nichols was waiting there in front of the net. And Podupny grabs it for the Wales Conference to clear it out of the zone. Coming up with Ridley carrying in to Podupny. He centered it. Fjord covering up on Tocchet. And again, Podupny tried to center it, and Fjord covered at the side of the net, and he held on.
All-Star games are usually a treat for those who are fans of offensive hockey. Al Arbour and Glenn Sather found that to be true at the Meadowlands in 1984. It was Arbour's Wales that flexed their offensive muscle early on. Pierre LaRouche scored to make it 5-0. All told, 13 goals, a record, and plenty of heroes.
Back to the line, threading his way in there. They score! Maloney!
Don Maloney of the Rangers was the MVP, scoring once, adding 3 assists as the Wales won a shootout, 7-6.
Here's Jimmy Carson coming up to center ice for the Campbell Conference, lugged it in and played a shot into the right side, but Hull failed to get there in time. Now it's tipped away by Housley to center, and Ellen played it back in. Hull shoots it to the other side. Lehman comes up on the play trying to intercept and center, but the Wales Conference shoot it in. Denise fell as he tried to go to the net, and Hull swings out. Hull down to Lehman. Hull now, and Lehman go in there, but they're offside at the Wales blue line.
On that last clip, fans, I'm sure, recognize the familiar voice of Danny Gallivan, an all-star announcer, if there ever was one. That was Danny's last all-star game. I worked alongside him at the Meadowlands in New Jersey.
Can you imagine how Glenn Sather must feel when he can say, Gretzky, your line next?
See, there was something very interesting, Harry, when Gretz scored his goal here. How many times have you seen Grant Fuhrer make 2 stops in a row, and about 20 seconds later in this building, Wayne puts it in the other end?
Gretzky, Curry, and Robitaille are on there now for the Campbell Conference. That is McPhee trying to bring it in. Bobby Smith and Denise, the other 2 forwards for the Wales Conference. This is Robitaille, 22. What a thrill for him. In with Curry. Curry's quick shot, and Burke covers up. There was a rebound, but Burke was fast getting down to hold it.
It has been quite a last 12 months for this young man, 21-year-old Sean Burke from the Olympics, where he played for Canada's team in Calgary last February, to the NHL, to that great playoff into the conference final with the underdog Devils, to be the top-voted goaltender for the Wales Conference for this year's All-Star Game. And he is the goaltender of today and for many days to come. As we look at him here, he has had to make 11 stops, 13 shots, and they've beaten him twice.
That's Neely turning with the puck to bring it out. Lemieux on the ice again, and here's Neely breaking in. And he went for the short side and just missed. Lemieux takes it. Hangs onto it a little too long maybe, and Gretzky swings it out to Curry with Robitaille. Steve Manson up on the play. Manson now to the corner, centered it. And here's Mario Magnificent on a break. And Fuhr stopped it, but he has another shot at it. A scramble. The crowd on its feet. Mario stopped by Fuhr. Listen to them. He had to do it again, though. He does. Mario again. Centered it. Oh, Fuhr is sensational here in the first period. Mario Lemieux doing everything, and he goes to the bench. A little whip. Why not? He had about 5 shots on that ship. Fuhr was great. Burke now had to be careful with the puck coming loose off the boards. This, for sure, is an all-star game.
When this shift began, Gretzky was on, and there was another line, not the Lemieux line. Bobby Smith was checking him until that whistle on the Burke save. They changed lines. Mario came on. Gretzky stayed on, and they put on a show. And here's Mario in on Fuhr. He was being cut off just a little bit by Dave Ellett, and maybe didn't get quite that clear crack at him, Harry, that he wanted.
Not finished yet, though. Watch this. He's back around in a hurry, and Fuhr makes another save. And Grant Fuhr, who was on the losing side Sunday in a 4-2 loss to Jersey, looks like the old Fuhr to me, and he does tonight.
Joe Mullen now trying to get in. That's stopped. Cleared back out by Wesley. Into the final minute of the period. Still 2-2. 14-13 are the shots up to this point. Nieuwendyk coming in. Nieuwendyk tried to center it. It's up the line, and it'll be cleared out by John McLean. He carried it all the way in, flipped it over in front, and the Campbell Conference just shoot it back to Larry Robinson. That's Brian Mullen bringing it in with John McLean getting set. That's deflected right in front again, and Fuhr doing the splits made it difficult for anybody to get one by him. 20 seconds remaining in the period. Messier went in, and Robinson dropped the puck back out to center. Reinhardt fired it up, and here's Robinson again. Offside goal at the blue line.
In our first intermission this evening, tandem thoughts. Mario and Wayne sit down and together discuss the state of the National Hockey League. They're the honorary co-captains of tonight's game, Norm Ullman and Bruce McGregor. They'll be by. Chris Cuthbert will be in the dressing room with Steve Duchesne, and I'll be alongside Glenn Sather.
And up here in the booth at the Northlands Coliseum, and happy to be here, is Bob Cole along with Dick Irvin and Harry Neal. 2-2 with 5 seconds left in the period. That's Housley. Just a pass through the middle. One last shot by Podubny, misses the net. And the period ends in a stalemate, but we had great action with Curry and Gretzky scoring for the Campbells, Neely and Podubny for the Wales Conference. The shots 14-13 for the Wales Conference. Great period. There's more coming. Stay with us. Score at the end of the first, Wales 2 and the Campbell 2.
Wayne Gretzky has about done it all as a pro athlete. In 1983, he made the 35th annual All-Star Game in Uniondale as memorable as the banners above the ice.
Curry to Gretzky in the slot. Wayne Gretzky scores! He might have tipped in front of Messier, and the Campbells lead 4-2. Mark Messier took the shot and he scored! Wayne Gretzky, his second goal of the period. Wilson in deep, centering it. Gretzky, he scores! There's the hat trick for Wayne Gretzky. Here comes Gretzky again with Curry. Gretzky into the slot. He scores! 4 goals for Gretzky. What a shot at his footing.
Not everybody arrived here this evening in the same attire, but all will go home wearing goosebumps. A tremendous first period at the Northlands Coliseum. That's a look inside the Wales Conference dressing room. 2-2 at the end of 20 minutes. Meantime, inside the Clarence Campbell Conference dressing room, Chris Cuthbert is standing by looking for Steve Duchesne. Like the previous unscheduled All-Star game, this benefit in 37.
We're inside the Campbell Conference dressing room, and with me is Steve Duchesne of the Los Angeles Kings. A lot of excitement at the open practice this morning for the youngsters, but I know you were pretty excited too.
Yeah, I was very excited actually. That was the first time, and there was a lot of kids here, and you know, I was pretty nervous, and it was a great feeling.
How do you feel now after one period behind you and your first NHL All-Star assist?
Well, I was kind of nervous at the beginning. But when I touched the puck and was getting my flow and was able to make that assist there, it was all right.
That, by the way, is Luc Robitaille throwing the tape at you. It's been a Hollywood script for you as a hockey player in Los Angeles now, starring with the Kings after not being drafted and coming out of junior hockey, not really even being able to speak very good English. What are your thoughts on how your career has taken you?
Well, I guess I kept working hard every year, even if I wasn't drafted or anything happened. But I guess you have to keep your confidence way high and believe in yourself. And even if you're not drafted, you have to keep working. We'll never know. And fortunately, that's what happened with me.
And now they're talking about perhaps a Norris Trophy. Your thoughts on that?
Well, right now, what we want to do is win tonight, and we'll see what happens during the season. I have to help the Kings to win and go as far as possible, and we'll see after that.
There's a guy 2 lockers down from you, obviously a big night for Wayne Gretzky. Tell us about what he's done for your career.
Well, I mean, Wayne is Wayne on the ice. He's unbelievable. He's going to put a lot of confidence in the locker room, and everybody wants to win for him. He's a great guy off the ice too. So it's it's a great feeling. A lot of guys are working hard. They want to win this year, and Wayne is a big part of this.
Steve, continued success, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Under somewhat uncomfortable circumstances because he's being kidded around by his fellow teammates. Now let's go to Ron McLean.
Chris, thank you very much. I'm with Glenn Sather. When do you think they're going to open it up?
Well, it's been pretty tight. Everybody's very nervous, and they're trying to play defensive-minded hockey. We've been on them pretty much before the game to be very conscious about their checks.
You might have to do that. You want to win. I won't bug you about that. You should bug Cherry. He said he wouldn't come because this is a game where the grinders don't get to show up, and he doesn't like these games. How could anybody not like this?
Well, listen, I can't get on my buddy, Don. He's a sharp guy. He knows hockey as well as anybody in the country, and he likes that style of hockey. I myself would prefer sometimes to have some grinders in a hockey game like this, but this is the excitement that we see. It's not the checking you're looking for. It's great plays and the smooth passing and the terrific skating. It's just not a place for Cherry and myself. We weren't those kind of players.
You've always been hard on me, and this night's no exception. Let's talk about Gretz. How do you think he was, Glenn, going into this game? I know you joked yesterday that you'd like to win, and you'd like to do well because of Yari and Wayne. What do you think his mood is?
I think he feels the same. I think he's excited to be here. The fan welcome for him was tremendous. The people love him here, and I think he loves to play in Edmonton. I think he would never admit it, but I think he misses this place. And he had a twinkle in his eyes, and he was smiling and laughing on the bench, and he seems to be really enjoying himself.
Sometimes people forget that you are the president of the Edmonton Oilers, and you and your staff must be very pleased. You've done a wonderful job hosting this 40th annual.
Thank you very much. We're very proud to have it, and the city of Edmonton is proud to be the host city, and we hope everybody enjoys himself.
You're used to these specialties, what with the Stanley Cup appearances, 5 in the last 6 years, the 40th annual NHL All-Star Game, and what a dandy opening 20 minutes. It's 2-2 Wales and Campbells at the end of one period of play. Mario and Wayne are next to discuss the state of hockey when our first intermission continues after these messages. Like the previous unscheduled All-Star Game, this benefit in 37 was a sad occasion. Those in attendance gathered to honor Howie Morenz, the Stratford streak who had died March 8th of that year. The teams included players from the 2 Montreal clubs facing the best of the rest. About $20,000 was raised with proceeds going to the Morenz family, all in tribute to one of the National Hockey League's all-time greats, Howie Morenz. Here's a peek inside the Clarence Campbell Conference dressing room where the players regroup after a very entertaining 20 minutes. 14-13 were the shots. Burke with 11 saves, and Grant Fuhrer was able to save the Whales on 12 occasions. 2 goals early on for Gretzky and company, and then the Whales responding with a pair of their own, and so through one period of play, we are tied at 2-2. Yesterday, we had an opportunity to put the game's greatest players together in a room to discuss hockey. Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky have some tremendous thoughts on what they'd like to see for the National Hockey League.
The period is the great one. Comes down the right side, cuts to the left and center ice. Stick handling into the Islanders' zone. Slap shot, he scores!
Up the ice for a flower to Lemieux. Lemieux looking, goes right in, scores!
Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky have always done their talking on the ice, but they are equally adept at discussing the state of the sport off it. At the head of the list of topics is parity. Mario's Penguins and 99's Kings are both embroiled in playoff races, and while some criticize it, both these men seem to relish the current close nature of the NHL's divisional races.
The 10 years I've been here, that there's 9 or 10 teams that have a legitimate chance of winning Stanley Cup, whereas my first couple of years, you basically knew that there was going to be 4 teams, and those 4 teams are the 4 teams that would probably win the Cup.
I think that we play now in the NHL have very good players, and it's tough to play against. So it really doesn't matter for us who we play against. It doesn't matter if it's in your division or against any other team in the NHL. Every game is tough.
Last season, the Penguins and Rangers both missed the postseason despite better point totals than teams that did. Do Wayne and Mario like the present playoff format?
Well, never made the playoffs yet, but that's tough. Last year and the year before, we missed the playoffs by only 1 point, and we had over 80 points in the season. You had a team like Toronto who made the playoffs, and Vancouver, and a few other teams that had 50, 60 points that were in the playoffs, and that was hard for us to accept. But I guess right now we're not going to complain because hopefully we're going to make the playoffs this year.
Right now, the teams that are struggling, the teams that aren't doing well, they're the ones that don't want to change the playoff format. Well, eventually the fans who know the game pretty well are going to catch on, and they're not going to like it. And you know, somebody has to stand up and say, well, this isn't good for our team, but it's better for the hockey, for the NHL. And one of the teams has to come forward and do that, whether it be Toronto or Detroit or St. Louis. Somebody has to do it, and it would be nice for the game of hockey.
While they don't agree in all areas, both heartily concur on the subject of violence. Each wants this type of stick work eliminated, followed soon by an abolition of fighting.
I've always been a guy that believed that the fighting controlled the stick work, and I always felt that, you know, we don't control the stick work enough, so, you know, we need to have the fighting to offset that. Well, now the NHL has worked so hard at changing the rules and protecting the players. I think they've accomplished that pretty much, and I don't believe anybody should be out of a job, and I think that to change the rule tomorrow is not the right way to do it either. But I think over the next 3 or 4 years, 5 years, we definitely don't need fighting in the NHL.
There's a lot of stick work, a lot of incident. It happened to me one time this year and a few other times, but I think the NHL should be a little bit more severe about the stick work and suspend a guy for 30, 40 games. And the next time somebody's going to think about hitting somebody with a stick and maybe causing a serious injury.
The NHL has to give back some authority to the referees. They have to. It's a game that, I mean, everybody's not going to like what the referee calls. It's just the game is so fast. But we got to have enough confidence in our referees to make a judgment call. Yeah, he meant to hit that guy in the head. That's automatic. You're out of the game. Or B, it was an accidental penalty, but you still get 5 minutes, but you're not thrown out of the game. I think we have to get that back in the game.
He has Poulin going in with him. Mario Lemieux shoots, score!
Few fans will forget the efforts of Lemieux and Gretzky in recent international competitions. These scenes from the '87 Canada Cup are witness. Both of these men would like to see a wider spectrum of international play to benefit the NHL.
You know, what I've suggested and what I'd like to see is a team NHL instead of the Canada Cup, and the games can be played U.S., Canada, Europe, and the Soviet Union. I think that it helps promote the National Hockey League throughout the world and helps promote hockey. And we blend in with the international hockey scene. And I think that it's just something that would be very positive for hockey. Some players don't want to play. That's fine. I understand. But there are also a lot of guys that think that they want to play. I'd love to play with Mario again in the series. It was exciting for me and a great thrill. I would love to. That'd be an awful lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun every 2 years. Like I think we play a lot of games. We play an 80-game season, and with the playoffs, it's a long season, and every 2 years would be probably the best way to do it.
With the influence they have, we wondered if granted what one change they would implement to improve the game.
You know, one of the things I'd love to see that would be great for him and myself is that I'd like to see the 4-on-4s again. You know, it was entertaining, it was fun, the fans liked it, it was exciting. I'd like to see that brought back into hockey.
I think the penalties, the way they're called now, there's not a lot of 4-on-4s and 4-on-3s and 5-on-3s, and I think we should bring back some of these things to our game. It would make our game a lot more exciting for the players and for our fans, and I think that's something that is missing in our game right now.
As you can appreciate, on a night like this, there are no speeches in the dressing room, so Wayne had the opportunity to watch the feature while it was on the air, and that was his reaction to his comments. He and Mario have plenty of weight in what they say, and it's because of their play. What a first period it was here, 2-2 at the end of 20 minutes. Second period action, plus a visit with tonight's honorary co-captains. Coming up, this is the 40th annual NHL All-Star Game on CBC. We're back at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. The 1989 NHL co-captains, the honorary captains of this All-Star Game, are Norm Allman and Bruce McGregor. Norm played in 11 All-Star Games and, of course, scored over 1,200 points in a Hall of Fame National Hockey League career. And Bruce McGregor is the assistant GM of the Edmonton Oilers now, and like Norm, followed a similar career track up through the Edmonton minor hockey system, through the NHL, where he starred, scoring 470 points and finishing up with the WHA's Edmonton Oilers. And here are the co-captains, Norm to my left and Bruce to my far left. Tell us, how do you feel about the honor of being honorary co-captains?
Well, certainly it's a great honor. There's no doubt about that. It's always nice to come back to Edmonton, having started my career here and ended up playing with the Oilers the last couple of years. And I appreciate the opportunity to come back and participate in such an honor.
Well, for Edmonton and, you know, all of northern Alberta, it's to me it's hard to believe when you reflect back how far, you know, Edmonton has come. When Normie and myself were playing, coming up through the minor hockey, the Oil Kings were the big thing, and then the Edmonton Flyers, and the NHL was so far away at that time. And to see all of these things happen in the 10 years that the Oilers have been in the National Hockey League, and culminating with the 40th National Hockey League game, is tremendous. And for Normie and me to be a part of it, it just couldn't be better.
Norm, you played in 11 games, as I said. You played for Abel, Blake, Imlach. Have I missed anybody? Ray? Were there any of those coaches who took this game seriously, or did you go and have some fun?
No, they were basically quite a bit of fun. I think a few years back they were a little more serious, but they slowly evolved into
yeah, it seems, as I look at summaries, more roughing penalties. But then you played against the defending Stanley Cup champion, so I suppose there'd be a rivalry there.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. You were all determined. You wanted to win that game, being together as a team, so there was a little more in it for you. And, of course, the other team wanted to beat you, being the champion, so it was a little closer competition.
How about the game tonight? Wayne didn't waste any time, Bruce. How do you feel watching that?
Well, he was ready, and you know, I think that actually just being around the last couple of days, the fellas and that, you can see that I think there's more to winning this game than maybe it has been in the past. I think maybe because of the stars that are on both teams, and Wayne on one and Mario on the other, and the great supporting casts, I think that, you know, there's more of the desire to really to win, and it means something, and I know it means something to people like, you know, Glenn and that, who wants to win the game. And I think, you know, the fellows are relaxed, but, you know, it's a wide-open type of game, and it's a fun game for the fans, and that's really the way it should be.
Yeah, they look really tense, don't they, as we look into the dressing room? Everybody's smiling. It's strange to see the Flames and the Oilers sitting side by each. Norm, what about your perception of the game then and now? This is maybe a tired question, but do you think it would be the same if you were to lace them up now?
Gosh, it's hard to say. Just watching it's a lot different when you're down on the ice, so it's difficult to do. But I don't. Hockey is basically hockey, no matter when or where it's played. But I think the fellas are a little bigger today, maybe skate a little faster, shoot a little harder, but there's so much on offense these days. Today, Roger Nielsen was saying that there used to be about 12 good scoring chances per game. Now there's about 20 per team average, so it's opened up a lot. There seems to be a little less on defense.
Do you remember your all-star goals? You had a couple, and I looked at assists, Howe and Hull, or all chipped in on goals that you scored. Do you remember those at all?
Very vaguely, very vaguely.
You had far too many to remember. I can understand if you don't. Bruce, how about you?
Well, I think the game, I mean, to me, the game would be more fun to play now. It really is. It's more wide open, and there's still some good checking and good hits, but these fellas, they move fast, and it's more wide open. And then I think that it's a lot more fun playing a game like that when we used to play up and down the wing, and now everybody's all over the place, and it's a much more freewheeling game. And I would think as a player, it would be a great time to be playing.
Both of you gentlemen are a real credit to the game, and I know it was with delight the 16,000 fans here and the many who are watching shared in your special night tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bruce McGregor and Norm Ullman. The teams are returning. It's 2-2 after 1. He was a Detroit Red Wing for 25 seasons and an All-Star 22 of those. The Motor City loved Gordie Howe and welcomed him home in 1980.
Representing all of hockey with great distinction for 5 decades, number 9.
Gordie Howe proved wrong the old axiom, you can't go home.
Ron talking to Gordie Howe last night, and gentlemen, Harry and Dick, he looks fabulous today. I'm not sure if he wouldn't go out and enjoy, as Brucey McGregor said, the way they play the game today, he'd enjoy this one tonight.
Bob, one of the nice things about something like this, you talk to a Gordie Howe who played in more All-Star games than anyone. I had a long chat with Glenn Hall. He holds the record for goaltenders 13 straight All-Star games, and to see these fellows still so keen on the game is just really tremendous. And speaking of the game, while all of this festivity is going on here in Edmonton, business is on as usual, and our Harry Neal has been keeping close touch with everything that's going on, and some things have happened, Harry.
Well, we had 3 fairly large stories, I thought, in the National League. Maloney fired in Winnipeg, Secord from Toronto to Philadelphia for a 5th-round pick, and Keith Acton to Philadelphia for Brown. So those managers don't just watch the All-Star game, they work.
Well, the second period is underway in this 40th NHL All-Star game. And the Whales go after a goal right here at the start with Wesley's shot blocked in front of Grant Fuhr. Campbell's come back out with Gretzky 99, doing his job at center. Passing off to the right, and Curry finally rolled it in front of the net. But Gretzky didn't see it come in there. Robinson lost it against Gretzky. He just missed setting up Curry. Racing back is Duchesne. That's Duchesne with a puck. Tipped by Robitaille. Back for Curry. Coming out to center ice. Up on the play is the defenseman Kevin Lowe. Lowe is bumped to the ice by Scott Stevens. Campbell's keeping in there. It'll roll out over the line, however. And Reinhardt carries back to his own zone. Lowe lost it. And coming in is Lemieux. Sent it up in front of the net. Down goes Fuhr to hang on. Puck is still in there, though, and for the scramble, it goes to the side of the goal. Reinhardt grabbed it. Lost it again. Lowe got it up to Gretzky. He tried to hit Robitaille up behind everybody. Housley, number 6, for the Wales Conference. His pass stopped by Reinhardt. Reinhardt coming in. He passes to the left side to Robitaille. Gretzky is on the ice at center. And they'll be making quick changes when they get the puck out of the zone. Both teams, no doubt, will make changes. And here's Nieuwendyk. Fresh legs coming in. He has Joe Mullen, but they're offside at that blue line. We'll be right back after this message. They've only played a little over a minute of the second period, and already, gentlemen, there have been 29 shots on the nets. You wonder then what Mike Vernon and Réjean Lemelin, who will be coming in midway through this period, are thinking at this time. Do I really have to go in? It's wide open, and it's great hockey. The All-Star game from the Northlands Coliseum. 2-2 is the score. The Campbell Conference in white. Trying to get by Kevin Dineen over there was Suter. McPhee brought it in. Suter goes after him. Goes behind the net into the corner. And the Campbells will clear it. Mullen gets it up through the middle, just missing Messier. John Burke hooked it away on the board. Joe Mullen was there. Here he is again. Joe Mullen, Newendijk with him. Newendijk fired on it. And Burke seizing the opportunity to stuff it into the corner to his left. Newendijk got it back out front. Mullen to the side of the net. Gets in the slot. Quick shot. Scrambled for it right in front of the goal. And Bobby Smith gets it ahead. Down comes Mike McPhee dropping it back. And Smith hangs onto it. Smith doing fine work inside the line to give it to McPhee. In there is Kevin Dineen. Dineen trying to roll it back. Robinson was there at the blue line. He tried to give it to him. But Joe Mullen saw that develop. Now that's Coffey leaving it for Robinson, the captain. Robinson up there, stopping. A nice pass, comes back in front. And Bjork has to make a good stop on the quick shot by Dineen. Still 2-2. Right in front, score! Well, coming out of nowhere was Wesley. They'll put it high.
You know, I've been looking at players like Housley and Coffey. Harry, there's a lot of four-man rushing going on in this game. And here we have Glenn Wesley, youngest player in the game, and he drills one home as he comes in from his defense position. And after falling behind 2-0 very early, the black sweater Wales team has now gone ahead 3-2.
Well, defensive zone coverage is not good in most All-Star games, and Glenn Wesley snuck off the point into the slot like he can do and put it behind Grant Frere to give his team a lead at 3-2.
Wesley from LaFontaine and Brian Mullen. And the Whales now in front. Go after it again. Flipped into the corner by Brian Mullen again. At 3:60. Campbell's take over and start out slowly. Cicerelli's pass, finding Yzerman. Yzerman going in there with Bernie Nichols. In front of the net, Nichols drilled it. Kind of was blocked. I think it might have hit Wesley standing in front of the goaltender, Burke. Centered again and up the blue line. Here's a shot that Burke had to be careful with off the stick of Ellett. And the goaltender hangs onto it. Smothering the puck. He saw it in the Wales zone.
Well, it pays to be a big goalie. And Sean Burke is that, among other things. And he's got all kinds of people in front of him. He's not sure where the puck is. But you can see, size helps. Burke proved it there.
Manson takes a shot. Rebound was right in front of the net and cleared by Ridley. Getting it up to Podupny. Podupny coming up there. Nice pass for Housley. Takes the shot. And that's blocked on the side by Grant Bjork. But a nice surge by the Whales after giving up the first 2 goals to the Campbell Conference. Curry and Gretzky, Neely, Podupny, and now here in the second period, Wesley.
Dave Manson playing in his first game. And to show you the improvement that he's made this year, he had 2 goals in his first 117 games as a Chicago Blackhawk, and he's had 16 in the last 54. This is his first All-Star game, but certainly not his last.
Duchesne behind his own net, lost the puck at centered, and a low shot by Ridley just missed. Dumped down the ice, no icing. So Burke comes out to play it. Housley, Carson is watching him. He gives it to Stevens, up to center ice now. Pocket gets as far as the line. Puck comes into Bjork, and offside is called at that blue line.
Brett Hull, certainly one of the hardest shots in the National Hockey League. And you know, when you combine Brett's All-Star appearance tonight, his father's and his uncle's, this will be the 18th All-Star game one member of the Hull family has played in. Fairly safe record.
Stevens
for 3 of them.
A right wing pass. Grabbed by Hull now, coming back in. Stopped at the line, and again, Scott Stevens takes over for Housley. Housley likes to carry it get too far in that rush, so Stevens will back up again in front of Sean Burke. Now to Ridley. Up to Podupny. Podupny rolled it into the left of Grant Pure. Lowe goes back to cover on his man Carson. Whipped it ahead to Hull. Hull coming down the left side. Skates to center now. Still carries it. Goes in over the line. Split the defense. Hull passed it in front. Nearly set up a dandy. Podupny back the other way. Long shot off the boards for Ridley. Ridley back for Podupny. To Ridley again. They get it in front of the net. And out to center comes Gary Lehman. He goes in. Nearly got a shot away. Bork took it away from him. Bork got it ahead. It's tipped up to Mario Lemieux. Coming in. Mario passed in front. Rob Brown trying to give it back to him. Might have had a goal himself. Suter racing with the puck now. Suter going in with the brakes on. The Campbell's press. Reinhardt shot. Deflected. And it goes into the crowd. We've got a 3-2 game with the Wales Conference leading the Campbells.
Gary Suter, the talented Calgary Flame defenseman who scored 91 points last year, gets caught defending a 2-on-1 against Brown and Lemieux. What a horrendous thought. But watch the play he makes at the end to save a sure goal.
Gretzky comes on again with Curry and Robitaille. They're in the white uniforms, and look who's facing him. Mario Lemieux, 66. Rob Brown tried to get it out of the zone, but couldn't. Wesley slapped at it. Again, Wesley gets it out. Curry brings it back in. With Robitaille going for the net. Curry took the shot. Burke blocked it. He'll hold it now. Curry skating in close to him.
Ron McLean asking the honorary captains there about the seriousness of coaches. And you know what I like about what's happened here so far tonight, gentlemen, is that the coaches, for the most part, have let number 66 play against 99. That's what the paying customers have been here for. Curry on one wing, Brown on the other, the shooters. And I hope that Glenn Sather and Terry O'Reilly keep it that way. That's the fun of this, something like this. Forget about this checking, shadowing tonight.
Wesley flipped it away on the boards, and the puck slides all the way down the ice into the Campbell zone. That is Paul Reinhardt, having a fine season. Coming off an injury. He looks sharp again. And here he is with the puck skating to center, giving it to Curry. Curry back to him. Reinhardt looks for the man open. Rolls it to the side of the goal. And the Whales break it up. Don't get it out, though. Curry picked it off at the blue line. Lemieux takes it from him. Slides it ahead. Larry Robinson feeds it to Neely. Good save by Grant Pure on that booming shot by Neely. Here comes 99. He lifted his stick, allowing Curry to take it. Now Gretzky dropped it back. Along the boards. Wales try to get it out. That's Neely fighting for it against Suter. Gretzky behind the net. Dangerous. And Burke covers up on the short side as Gretzky tried to set it up, but Sean Burke saw that.
This Saturday on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC, All-Star John McClain leads the New Jersey Devils into the Montreal Forum to meet the Canadiens, while George Armstrong tries to keep his Maple Leafs in playoff contention with a win over Philadelphia. Hockey Night in Canada this Saturday.
And we hope you'll join us, but for now, let's think about this one. It's the 40th NHL All-Star Game from the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. 3-2, Wales Conference. And a great exhibition of hockey by the big stars of the National Hockey League. Best in the world. Bobby Smith coming in. He left it there along the boards. Dave Ellett flipped it behind the net for Manson. Manson, in his first All-Star game, gives it off to Ellett, who's also playing his first. Got it up there, and it's cleared in by Nieuwendyk. He was bumped by Scott Stevens. Oh, a score! What a quick backhander by Joe Mullen. They said he was sharp around the net, but my goodness, did he whip that one quickly.
I don't know whether there are very many more better opportunists in the National Hockey League than Joe Mullen, the New York City boy who started his hockey career as a roller hockey player. And he did anything but roll that puck past Sean Burke.
Well, Harry had a good point right off the top. Here's a guy whose goal-scoring record is really a dandy one over these last 4 or 5 years. Yet this is his first All-Star game. Rather strange, but he cashes in, and it's tied 3-3.
It's his first goal here at 7:57 of the second period. Messier and Nieuwendyk getting assists. What a great backhander by Mullen. Now here's Mike McPhee. Oh, and he didn't miss by much with that shot. Right in front of the net, and Fjord grabs it with McPhee. Being checked in front of the netminder. Mike McPhee had 2 pretty good chances.
The Wales team getting a little more offense than a lot of people might have suspected. Mike McPhee, normally a defensive type player, he lets one go. I think Fuhrer made the save that just missed.
Fuhrer has been sharp. He not only made the first one, but he's ready for the second.
Grant, Fuhrer watching Kevin Lowe go after it and get it up to Yzerman. LaFontaine got back. All Coffey and Ray Bork. Back to Bork again. And back to Coffey. Went by Bork with it this time. LaFontaine checked his man low, and the puck rolls all the way down the ice. That's Kevin Lowe. Yzerman is on there. He turns to the other side with the puck going around the net. Coffey keeping it in. Coffey threw it in the slot. It goes to the far side, and Fuhrer had to cover on a shot from a sharp angle by Brian Mullen. Still after it in there. It'll be cleared away. Bernie Nichols got it up to center ice. That's Cicerelli going in for it. Yzerman with him. Nichols in for checking. The puck loose to the far side, and they bring it back out. Brian Mullen comes in with McLean. John McLean in the corner with Ridley, or rather Mullen in to help out. He fell, and Nichols gets it away. Got it as far as the line. LaFontaine kept it in. Brian Mullen going to the corner, but Nichols was there to intercept. Threw it in front of his own net to Duchesne, who was there alone and had lots of time to move up. Duchesne coming in. Nearly got a shot away. Was grabbed from behind. 3-2 is the score. The Wales Conference, or 3-3 rather. Wales Conference took the lead, 3-2. And then Joe Mullen got that quick backhander at 7:57 and tied it. 3-3 at the halfway mark of the second. And we look down at the coaches now and the 2 goaltenders. Think this is it? I think so.
They're 2 seconds shy of the halfway point in the second period. So there is Reggie Lemieux, who will take over from Sean Burke, a veteran, taking over from a rookie. Reggie found that there is life after Calgary last year when he was picked up by the Boston Bruins and backstopped them right all the way into the Stanley Cup Finals. And Mike Vernon, who has been in the Stanley Cup Finals in the past with the Flames, takes over for the Campbell Conference.
And he's been hot as a firecracker lately. Look at that record, no losses in the last 12 games. Second in the NHL in goals against and first in wins. I don't think the Campbell Conference is weakening themselves by putting this fellow in. And it must feel good to him to replace Grant Fuhrer rather than face him.
That's right. Well, we've had a wide-open hockey game halfway through at a total of 37 shots, 2017 in favor of the Wales Conference. Now there is Paulina Gretzky.
That's the little one now.
Jones, that's right. And she has been one of the stars of the show here the past 2 days. She's at the All-Star game.
The youngest fan, perhaps, in the history of All-Star Game. Paulina Gretzky.
That's right. It is warm-up the new goalie time here at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. This is the 40th All-Star game for Regent Lemieux. This is his first All-Star game.
They better warm him up. The first 2 had 37 shots in the first half of the game. It's nice they gave him a warm-up, but I'm sure that the players on either team won't care much whether the opposing goaltender's ready or not. Ready or not, we're coming.
Reggie is in for the Whales. And Mike Vernon for the Campbell Conference. 3-3. Can't get much closer. Fior and Burke were brilliant. The Whales had 20 shots on the net against 17 for the Campbell Conference. 3-3 the score. Middle of the second. Mike Ridley tried to go in. Got it back. Wesley wanted the pass, but it was intercepted. That's Gary Lehman coming in. Nice play for Hull. And a big save right off the bat by Lemelin. Into the corner, Wesley. Fires it around on the boards, but too far for Walt Podupny. And Suter is back around his own net. He falls to the ice. They wanted a penalty, but the play goes right on. At the blue line and near center. Here comes Hull with Carson going for the net. Carson had it swept away by Stevens. Hull chases him. Podupny after him. To the line with a long shot high over the head of Lemelin. Wales get it out. Podupny checking his man. Manson got back and just missed Stevens. They nearly collided at the blue line. They were both flying. Carson to center, missed it. Stevens gets away. Comes up there with a pass to Mario Lemieux. He is stopped. Here's a 2-on-1. Hull. Nice play. Lehman. And he was beaten by Lemelin. Robinson behind the net. Mario Lemieux tried a rink-wide pass. It's knocked down near center. Here's Lemieux again and doing some wonders with it now into Neely. Neely tried to get it back to the big guy. He's in behind the net now looking for it against Curry. At the line, stopped by Coffey. Coffey was checked. Curry turning around in his own zone. A good play by Curry to get out. Gets up as far as the line and just dumped it in. Lemelin steered it behind the goal. Out near center. That is Brown with Lemieux. And Lemieux is stopped. Brown lost it to Gretzky. Play down the left side. And right in front was Robitaille. Just couldn't get a shot. Coffey now. Tried to hit Mario Lemieux near center. Missed it. Here's Curry. Bounced over his stick. Campbell Conference pressing now. Curry back to the line. Low fed it in there. And the Wales Conference lucky to get it out. They're happy to do that. Rob Brown in, but Robitaille stopped it. Curry to Gretzky. Gretzky stopped by Lemelin. Coffey with the puck. Great action again. Brown and Lemieux coming in. A pass to Neely. Shot kicked away by Mike Vernon. There's Coffey racing back. Robitaille was up there. Coffey number 7. Housley is with him now. Feeds it ahead. Housley got away from Gretzky. Brought it in over the line. And Gretzky got back. Now he's going off. That was Mullen who made a great play. And he's on the puck again now. For Messier. Centered it. Messier again going behind the net. Deneen trying to get it out. And did. Duchesne for the Campbell Conference. Fed it up to the line to Mullen. Mullen trying to whip a pass to the other side. Mullen still looking for it at the blue line. Duchesne to Mullen missed him. McPhee had it go off his arm. Duchesne again. Brings it back in. Fell. Mullen went after it. And a penalty is being called against the Wales Conference. This will be only the second power play of the game.
Raymond Bourque of the Boston Bruins, a 2-minute penalty for tripping at 13:44, only the second penalty call. When Messier went off in the first period, the Wales Conference scored after only 12 seconds of power play time. Bourque's Boston teammate, Reggie Lemelin, facing a power play, but a few minutes ago, Harry, facing a Wayne Gretzky partial breakaway. I'll bet Wayne would like to have that one back and get it and take it all over again. Not the best shot. Where was Brett Hull's shot when he came in? He had a chance and rolled to the crease. So Reggie's been tested early.
Yes, he's had 4 times he's had opponents in almost alone on him and turned all of them back. So O'Reilly's controversial choice has looked good so far, Reggie Lemelin.
Wayne Gretzky starts the play and across the line. Dumped into the corner.
Gretzky and Robitaille with Curry on the boards. It's still inside the line. A little scrambly. Now they're going to get it out. Bobby Smith hooked it away. Down the ice. Bourque is in the penalty box. Campbell Conference moving up. Suter shoots it in. One in high and came down for Reggie Lemelin, who stopped it behind the net. Stevens couldn't get it out. Here's a pass for Gretzky. He will set it up. Plays it into the side. Turning around is Robitaille to Gretzky again. Gretzky had it knocked off his stick. But at the blue line was Reinhart. To Suter. And again Bobby Smith will send it outside the line. Robinson shoots it up. They get it over the line. And here's Gretzky finally getting a break. Going in. Gretzky turning. Gretzky in front. Now Gretzky again. Gretzky left it at the side of the goal. Reinhart at the blue line. Suter to Robitaille. Got by him, but Gretzky was there. Gretzky centered it. Again, it's cleared, but not out. Curry. Curry went after it. It comes to Reinhart. Bounced away from him. And Suter will get back ahead of Brian Mullen. 4:30 left in the period and time running out on the penalty to Bourque. Fed back in. Reggie Lemelin watching this hard shot being deflected. In front of the net was Wesley to get it away to center. And Dubney going in there. Dubney rolled it back in front. Bourque on the ice again, just kicked it over behind the goal, and Ella. So the Campbell Conference gets it ahead. This is Ciccarelli coming in. Ciccarelli, good spot now. Didn't shoot it. Centered it. And the Whales cover up and skate out. The Dubney feeds it down to Brown. Brown back in front. And a hard shot by John McLean. Didn't quite find the mark. Wide open again as Bernie Nichols comes in. Nichols in a slot, keeps skating with it. On the boards, gets it back. It'll drift over the blue line. 3:30 left in the period. Mario Lemieux going in. Back to the line. Housley with it. And he can handle it too. Centered it. Good chance for Neely, but it hit a leg. Lemieux centered it again. Lemieux again. Brown. And he had his stick lifted before he could get a shot. Yzerman went up near center, but couldn't find the puck. Boy, this is some action now. Housley coming in. Mario's up there with him. Housley going for the net. Hit a stick. Back to the goal. Neely got in front and broken up by Duchesne, but not out. Stevens kept it in. Mario Lemieux got in front and was stopped. Yzerman now. Yzerman with Ciccarelli. Ciccarelli to Nichols. And it bounced away from him. Boy, here's another shot. He scored! Steve Yzerman. Wow.
Well, Harry, a couple of Steves started it and ended it. Duchesne made a defensive play in his own zone to get rid of the puck inside the Campbell blue line, and Steve Yzerman polished it off at the other end of the rink.
Yzerman got his 50th goal in Winnipeg on Sunday, and here he shows you why he's well on his way to over 60. No goalie, all-star or not, could have stopped that one. And Steve is 6 goals away from 200. And when they're voting for the Hart Trophy, he has to get all kinds of attention this year.
Duchesne and Ciccarelli assisted on that bang-bang goal by Steve Yzerman. 17:21. The time of the goal makes it 4-3. For the Campbell Conference, again they're in front, and they're in there once more. More! Gary Lehman gets this one.
Seconds apart. And we've got a 2-goal hockey game here as Lehman of the Leafs scores for the Campbells.
Gary Lehman, who's been hurt a lot this year, yet has 15 goals, shows you what a soft pair of hands he's got. He has the presence of mind to go to the net without the puck. He's rewarded with a pass. He just redirects it with those velvet hands into the net to give his team, the Campbell Conference, a 5-3 lead.
Lehman from Carson, 17:35. 2 fast goals. for the Campbell Conference. 2:15 remaining in the period now. Lehman gets a big thrill in his first All-Star game. Scoring here late in the second period. Now McPhee is in, and there's a nice save by Mike Vernon on a close-in shot. It's wide open here now in the dying minutes of the second. We're just 2 minutes and 3 seconds away from the end of the second period. Great exhibition of hockey tonight by the Campbell and Wales Conference of the National Hockey League. 5-3. Campbell's leading. The Wales quite capable, mind you, of coming back just as quickly. They're in there with Mike McPhee on the boards. Nieuwendyk comes back to help. Trying to whip it away, got it along the boards, and it comes out. As Mullen fired it down the ice. Bork back. Raymond Bork to Bobby Smith. Coffey on the fly. Coffey coming in. Coffey set it up in front. Oh, what a great chance. Coffey made a great play. And here he is at the blue line. Set it up again. And Vernon is unstoppable now for the Campbell Conference. First it was Muir. Now it's Vernon.
Oh, Coffey making things happen offensively. Is there anyone, Harry, accelerates better than he does, quicker than he does? Vernon against McPhee first, and then Dineen on those chances that Coffey originated.
The other thing Coffey does as well or better than any defenseman in the National League are 50 to 70-foot passes, hard and right on the tape. And there was a great example of a cross pass to give their team great success.
Joey Mullen coming out for the Campbell Conference. Messier took his pass. Had difficulty controlling it, though, and Podubny comes back to center ice. He has Tonkin with him. Podubny's shot. He missed by 3 feet. Into the final minute of the second. Joey Mullen trying to find some room, and he does. Cut back in front, Allen. Just mishandled it. Mullen again. He's had a fine period. It's a puck in front, but it's centered and out to Podubny and down inside the Campbell blue line. Dave Manson nearly lost it to Ridley. He does now. Podubny to Ridley. And he hit the side of the net. Vernon made a big save, though. Robitaille takes over. Out with Gretzky on his right. Good play, Robitaille. Gretzky fires. That was blocked by Scott Stevens. Gretzky again. Gretzky threw it to the side of the goal. There goes Robitaille. And after him was Brett Hull. Puck down to center. Curry back. 7 seconds left in the period. One more chance for the Campbells. Gretzky dropped it back and came over the line. That'll do it. The siren goes to end period number 2. And in the period, 4 goals. Very quickly, Wesley, Mullen, and then Yzerman and Lehman. And at the end of the second period, it's a 5-3 hockey game, and a dandy it is. Score at the end of the second.
We'll have more news later tonight on the National and the Journal. Now, back to the All-Star game.
Rendezvous 87 provided a spectacle the All-Star game had never witnessed. Historic Quebec City was the site. Team NHL versus the Soviets in a week-long festival that attracted international attention. Game 1 to the NHL in the dying minutes.
He has Poulin going in with him. Mario Lemieux shoots, score!
Dave Poulin's goal gave the NHL a chance to sweep, but in Game 2, Valery Kamensky scored twice in a 5-4 Soviet victory. Here at the Northlands Coliseum, we've played 40 minutes of play, and the NHL greats have scored 8. It's a tough night to be a goaltender, but a lot of fun if you enjoy offense in hockey. 2 goals late in the period, 14 seconds apart by Lehman and Yzerman, give the Campbells, whom you see resting now, a 2-goal cushion. Let's go to the Wales Conference dressing room and Chris Cuthbert.
And there's plenty of firepower here in the Wales dressing room, and one of the guys who's certainly capable of getting it close in a hurry is Rob Brown. Rob, you've had your scoring chances already.
We've had a lot of chances out there. It just seems whenever we miss a chance, they end up going back and scoring. But we know that eventually we got to get going. We know that with Mario, you can't hold him down for too long. So he's going to break free, and I think that it's going to be a wild finish, and I think that we still have a good shot at it.
You were the leading vote getter among the right-in people, and that must be a big thrill. And it must be a big thrill playing here close to home.
Well, I had a lot of family sending in votes to all the arenas, so that's why I got all the votes. But hey, it's fun. It's the All-Star game. If you're going to make an All-Star game, why not make it at home? So it's good. I got a lot of family and friends here tonight, and hopefully I'll be able to put one in for them in the third period.
How many family members do you have here, and how much did it cost for all the tickets?
Well, there's only 4 family members here, but there's all my friends here. And then with the banquet last night, I think I spent more money than made this trip. So I don't know. It was fun. I'm glad they had the chance to see me play.
This has been a great year for you. You were a 4th draft choice overall, 4th round, and I guess obviously there were scouts out there that didn't think you could do what you did in junior here in the NHL. Obviously, you're proving them wrong.
Well, I had a lot of critics. They all thought I was too small and too slow, which a lot of them were right at times. But I don't know. I tried to go out and do the best I can. I'm playing with Mara. I get a lot of opportunities to score, and if I put more of them in than not, I think I have a good shot at having a good year. So everything seems to be going well so far this year.
And if you're a little slow, it helps to be the most accurate shooter in the NHL. Do you practice that? How do you work on accuracy?
Well, I think, one of the reasons is my shot isn't as hard as everyone, so the goaltender moves quicker than the puck, so it goes in underneath him after he's already moved. But I don't know, I just lucky, I guess. I don't think shooting percentage is a big thing to me. I just go out and shoot. I have a lot of open nets I'm putting the puck into, so I don't know, things just been going well for me.
I was amazed. Your stats compare very favorably with Mario over this point in both of your careers. Can you keep this pace up?
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to keep the pace up as Mario. It was a funny stat. I saw it last week, how I was equal with him after 100 games. And I don't know, it's fun. I just try to go out there and improve every day and try and help the team. We've got a good team in Pittsburgh, and if I can help them any way I can, I'm going to go out and do it. So I don't know, I'm having a good time playing with Mario, and I just hope I can continue.
I have to ask you this. I read somewhere where you sing and dance in the dressing room before a game. Can you do that in the All-Star room with all these new teammates?
No, I don't do it here yet. That was old time. This is the new me. I've turned over a new leaf in my life.
Any special songs that you're really good in?
No, I can't sing. That's the problem.
Rob, thanks very much, and good luck in the third period.
Thank you very much.
Rob Brown of the Wales team. Now let's rejoin Ron McLean.
With Terry O'Reilly, the coach, who says, we've had all kinds of chances. We just got to shoot more. You are having fun, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm having a lot of fun. I think what I see happening out there is everybody wants to be the nice guy, and they're making that last pass, trying to set somebody in for a tapper. You know, when in an ordinary league game, you've got a scoring opportunity like that on a 2-on-1, you're going to take the shot.
Is there any game plan going into this thing? Obviously, you've got a big shadow on 99.
No. The game plan is to roll the lines over and the defense pairings over so that everybody gets about the same amount of ice time, because they're all stars and they're here. It's their show, and they're going to win or lose the game, so it's up to them. We can just talk about a few things that we can improve on, like the back checking, and what's happening is for both teams, a lot of good opportunities are coming from the players coming real late because they're not getting picked up like they normally would. But as the game gets towards the end, you'll see the checking get a little tighter.
Did you enjoy seeing Gretzky score early on and gain an assist, or does it matter to you when that happens out west after what the Oilers did to you last year?
Well, he scored against our team again, as in the Stanley Cup Finals. So I like watching Wayne Gretzky play, but you know, I prefer that he held his scoring to a minimum.
Enough is enough. Terry, how about the All-Star games that you played in? You played in a pair, and you had big points in both of those games, including a goal in your first, which was the first time they played Wales versus Campbell's. Do you remember the games?
I remember the games very clearly. The goals and the assists were a bit of a blur. It's been so long ago, and an All-Star game is like an exhibition game. You know, if you were to ask me every playoff goal that I scored, I could tell you who was on the ice, who was in the net, and things like that. But you know, I remember the event and how exciting it was, just being selected and being there.
Who's the young, good-looking guy next to you everywhere we see you? Here over the last 48 hours, there's been a young chap. Tell me about that.
That's my oldest boy, Connor. He came with me on the trip. I think it's a great experience. You never know, as a player or a coach, you never know if it'll be your last visit to an All-Star game, and it's a great opportunity for him, and he's really enjoying it.
Some very nice compliments of Terry O'Reilly, the coach, who will try and get his team back into this game, trailing by 2 at the end of 2 periods of play. We have a short feature film now for you that we're calling 48 Hours. It looks back at the 2 days that have gone by here in Edmonton. 48 hours, Edmonton International Airport has welcomed the greats of the NHL for the 40th annual NHL All-Star Game. The host city of Edmonton has had its share of hockey festivals lately, but usually in the month of May. The league's big Winter Classic in the City of Champions is a refreshing pause from the 80-game regular season. This year, the NHL Showcase of Stars brought about a mixture of veterans and youngsters who view the All-Star break as a chance to renew acquaintances, make new friends, as well as an opportunity to interact with media and fans without the pressures of divisional races and National Hockey League team rivalries. As a theme, the league chose magic and illusion, and the entertainment package was full of wonder. Even Peter Pocklington lost his head in the act.
2.5. 3.
The annual All-Star Dinner was a glitzy black tie affair with the NHL's who's who in attendance. This morning, the glamour spilled over to the Northlands Coliseum as 40 of the league's best dressed in the colors of the Wales and Campbell conferences and prepared for the game before a daytime audience of enthusiastic fans seeking autographs and stargazing. Finally, official team photos completed the pregame festivities, setting the stage for tonight's big game. It really has been a wonderful couple of days here in Edmonton, Alberta, and our congratulations to the Oilers for putting on such a terrific show. We're in the second intermission. The Campbells lead the Whales by a score of 5-3. It's been called the greatest game ever played. New Year's Eve 75, the Canadians versus Soviet Red Army. Tonight, a game for all time on Ford's Great Moments in Hockey. Montreal's Ken Dryden and Red Army Brickwall Vladislav Tretiak were on the hot seat in this New Year's Eve treat. The Canadians started fast, led 1-0, then by 2 as Yvon Lambert scored. In second period, with Montreal ahead 2-1, they regained their 2-goal lead.
He rips the shot just wide. A loose in front of the net. Cornelier.
From there on, the Soviets did all the scoring. Trailing 3-2 in the third period, Boris Alexandrov dribbled home the tying goal. After that, Vladislav Tretiak barred the door, thwarting several Montreal chances. A game which lived up to its billing ended in a 3-3 tie. A celebration of excellence between the Montreal Canadiens and the Soviet Central Red Army. Great Moments in Hockey is presented by Ford of Canada. Ted Lindsay provided all-star heroics in the 1950 Classic and did so in front of a friendly gathering at the Detroit Olympiad, the first all-star game played there. Lindsay popped in 3 goals, marking another first. No player had previously scored 3 times in an all-star game. In addition, his line mates Gordie Howe and Sid Abel combined for 7 points, and to make it a sweep, Terry Sawchuk won the game as a rookie. Terrible Ted and the Wings, the stars of 1950. A Red Wing has the go-ahead goal in the game so far as Mario Lemieux thinks about a comeback. 5-3, the Campbells lead. Yzerman got that goal. The Bruins are best represented thus far tonight in terms of goals. Neely and Wesley have scored for their club. 5-3, Campbell leading Wales at the end of 40 minutes of play. It's a great honor to wear the black and orange uniforms in this game this evening, but it's also true of the black and white uniforms. The officials, Ron Asseltine, Wayne Bonney, and Ron Hogarth, I talked to them about working the game. And Ron Hogarth has the opportunity here this evening to work his first, and yesterday at the hotel we chatted about the privilege of calling this affair.
Well, I'm very thrilled, ecstatic, to be very honest with you, I think is a better word, that we get out, on the ice with these great players. Not only am I an employee, but I'm a great fan of this game. And I think that to be part of it is just something special that I'll remember for a long time, and no matter whether you work playoffs or whatever, this is the highlight kind of the year, I think, for all the great players are together.
Wayne, how about you?
So I got the same feeling as Ronnie. Is just, you know, you've been in this league so hard and you work so hard to get here, and this is an honor to be here. And this year is a special one because the last year when I worked in the WHA in '79, we had a playoff game there, and I worked with Ron Asseltine. We've been working together 17 years, so it's kind of an honor to come back here and work with Ronnie and and Ron Hogarth.
Hoagie, the NHL officials, do they have the opportunity to fraternize with the players at a thing like this? The NHL's gone out of its way to have special celebrations and gala dinners. Do you have the chance to go one-on-one with the players and their wives?
Yes, we're going to get to fraternize with the players, and when you're in the playoffs or any other, most of the functions where it's a team function, you can't. But here, they're here to kind of enjoy themselves and have some fun. And again, it makes us, you know, human beings from them, and we can relate to each other much better, I think.
The last word goes to the man we all call Sir, Ron Asseltine. Ron, this is a treat for you, but you're involved in something that's perhaps even more special. Could you tell me about that?
Yes, we have a charity that the NHL Officials Association has taken as its own. It's called Make-A-Wish, and I'm the chairman of Make-A-Wish in Guelph. And it's a real honor to be out here and to talk with people in hockey about the charity. And I promised a special young lady back in Guelph. I'd like to say hello to her, Christina, and to her family. The fellows and I have decided that we're going to dedicate this game to you and your family, and we hope you enjoy it, and we just want to send our love and our best wishes to all of you.
Third period action is next as our telecast continues in a moment.
Today, Mike. Why don't you go over there and cut my grass for a while? Your leg is not broke. Shoes right. I love to watch your hard work. You don't need this. This boy works hard. Listen to that. Watch him grow.
Yeah, I know.
Man, that laugh of yours. Why don't you laugh like an adult sometime, huh?
Last year, the gateway city of St. Louis provided the backdrop for the 39th annual event, and Mario Lemieux used it as his personal stage. Lemieux took control of the game using his full repertoire of skills. First his reach, then his touch in close around the net. But he left it to overtime for the evening's dramatics.
Naslund going in there to Lemieux, going in. Lemieux scores! Lemieux adds to the record, and no doubt wins the most valuable player of this game.
Lemieux was the MVP, 3 goals and a record-setting 6 points.
And this is Bob Cole along with Dick Irvin and Harry Neal in the booth, and we're awaiting the All-Stars for the third period. The Wales Conference just coming out now, and the Campbells on their way from the dressing room.
Well, there are the people who so efficiently sang the national anthems tonight, Lee Greenwood and Katie Lang, who was part of the show in the theater last night for the All-Star Dinner festivities, and she was absolutely magnificent last night with the Tommy Banks Band, also at All-Star Forum, and it was just a great treat to see a great Canadian musical star, superstar, in action here at the All-Star festivities. So there's a look at the Campbell Conference dressing room. Were there words of wisdom, Harry, delivered in high oratorical tones by the coaches at a time like this?
No, I don't think the chalkboard's been used. There certainly has been nothing but lovely language, and I'm sure coaches O'Reilly and Sather just reminded their team what it's like to win one of these games and lose one.
As we're ready for the third period, it's 5-3 for the Campbell Conference. Many thrills in this game. There have been many thrills in many All-Star games. Here's another.
In 1934, the hockey world and Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto joined as one to honor Ace Bailey. The date was February 14th, Valentine's Day. The occasion, a benefit game for Bailey, who had been injured a year earlier during a collision with Boston's superb defenseman Eddie Shore. The game was won 7-3 by Toronto and featured future Hall of Famers. The most memorable moment was a warm handshake between Bailey and Shore, making the evening a complete success.
An Irvin in that game and an Irvin in this game.
That's right. Father, the coach of that team. Gentlemen, I'm going to show my age right now. This is the 20th All-Star game I have attended. It's the 12th that I have broadcast, and I'm privileged to be here with you chaps again.
Maybe the Irvins have the record for all-star appearances, not the Hulls.
No goals and assists, but we've been around for a few, certainly.
Did he take you to any?
No, he was coaching in them in Montreal.
No, but I mean, did he take you into those all-star games?
No. Don't forget, I grew up in Regina. He was coaching him in the East. He certainly loved the first game, though, and I can remember my father saying the first game, which was the All-Stars, Harry, against the Stanley Cup champion Maple Leafs, that how eager the players were to play. They hadn't been in this situation before, and, you know, with exceptions, it's carried on. He was eager to play tonight. You know, next year it's the same thing. Mario against Wayne, that one in Pittsburgh.
Well, Wayne Gretzky, as you know, leading the LA Kings back into notoriety in hockey, and he's been given a line mate, new line mates many times this year, usually the guy that gets called up from New Haven. You know, they say in New Haven, if you're the player of the week, you can win a free trip to LA, expenses paid, Disneyland, MGM Studio, and play on a line with Wayne Gretzky. New Haven must be in first place with that kind of incentive. There's one of my idols, Gordie Howe, 51 years old when he played in his last All-Star game. That is a record I don't think that's going to be beaten unless Larry Robinson plans to play in 14 more.
You know, that night, 1980, when the ovation came for Gordie Howe and the Joe Louis, boy, it was something that anyone there will never forget.
Gordie Howe was the only player to have sweaters retired in 2 NHL cities, Hartford and Detroit. Bobby Hull will soon join him in that select company. His is hanging from the rafters of the Chicago Stadium and soon will be hanging from the Winnipeg Arena.
Well, you see, Mario's great record in the second game he played in, he was blank. So that's in 2 games, the one in Calgary and the one in St. Louis. His combination guy last year was Mats Naslund, who is not playing here tonight because of an injury, although he was voted to the starting spot on left wing for the Whales. Robert?
Okay, Richard. They're ready at center ice. Third period coming at you. Mario Lemieux played it up for Brown. Brown coming in there. Neely is in. Neely takes it out front. Pass just missing. Ray Bork. Coffey got it through. But now Curry brings it back in. Curry looking around. Robitaille. Gretzky in front of the net, but it's broken up and cleared all the way down the ice. Kevin Lowe touching it, and icing is called against the Wales Conference.
Well, you know, in this game, who's playing in the 40th All-Star game? Bob, there's 1 European, there's 7 Americans, and there's 33 Canadians. Now, there would be 2 Europeans and 1 less Canadian if Mats Naslund, the brilliant winger of the Montreal Canadiens, was capable of playing.
Just 31 seconds into the third period. And the people who were lucky enough to buy a ticket for this game could go home now and be happy. But they're not leaving.
No doubt about that. It has been a gem of a contest.
That's Cam Neely, number 8, gets it up for Brown. He nearly got a pass through to Mario Lemieux. Campbell Conference leading by 2 goals. But the way they've set the pace earlier in this game, you know that could be erased very, very quickly. Neely gets it up to center. Lemieux coming in with Brown. Brown shot, drilled it hard, and Vernon covered it, and he held it.
Well, Mike Vernon faces this man, Glenn Sather, under more hostile conditions most often in either this rink or the Saddle Dome in Calgary. And I'm sure Glenn Sather is a little more concerned about whether they can get by that improved LA team in order to play Calgary, should Calgary get by Vancouver or Winnipeg. So the Smythe division used to be a 2-team race. It's no longer that.
This is Suter coming out to Messier. Took it on a skate neatly. Neuendijk is racing in there for the Campbell Conference. He is checked. Bobby Smith coming back to help out deep in his own zone. Messier takes the puck off the board, slipped it ahead into the corner. Neuendijk to the line to Suter. In front of the net, and the deflection by Mullen. And Lemelin was very careful to grab it.
Terry Crisp told me this morning, the Calgary coach, that he didn't know whether he liked the idea of Joe Neuendijk playing. He could not play Sunday against Vancouver because of a bruised ankle. But pretty tough to keep a kid out of an all-star game. 41 goals this year, an emerging superstar.
Shot from the face-off off the glove of Lemieux. That was a good hard shot going for the top corner. Housley dumped it up to center ice, and it goes inside the line to Reinhart. Reinhart to Messier. Messier got it up to center, moves up on the play. As it's carried into the zone on the left side, Joe Mullen all the way to the far corner. Mullen has it again, coming in. Nieuwendyk is in front of the net, and a nice play. Falling on the ice was Scott Stevens to intercept the pass. Suter keeps it in. Shoots it up behind the goal to Mullen. Bobby Smith back deep again, and he hooked it away. Smith gets a pass through the middle of Messier. Messier across center, coming in on Suter. Suter playing the man all the way. And Dineen falls in front of him. Played it back in, and Messier just turned and went the other way. Lost it again. Here's Dineen coming back up there. Stop. Mullen. Near center, shoots it in. That's Bork. Against Yzerman, gets it ahead to LaFontaine. Cross the line, left it there. LaFontaine tipped it, and he just missed. John McLean kept it in. That's Manson. Manson checked. Couldn't get the pass by John McLean again. John McLean got in front. Scramble forward. Nice save by Vernon. Got his glove up. It was going over his pad, no question. Tonight's game is coming to you from Edmonton. 3 minutes and 7 seconds into the third period. Ray Bork steps in, fires. Oh, what a wicked shot. Bork with a good opportunity there, and Yzerman now comes to center. Yzerman with Bernie Nichols. Nichols after it. Bork after him. Bumped him lightly. Puck at the side of the net. Yzerman couldn't make a play. He was checked. Campbell Conference keeping it in. Cicerelli, and now finally Yzerman to Cicerelli. He nearly scored on the short side. Just missed. Coffey along the boards. They get it out. McLean whipped it rink wide to Bork. Back to McLean. He gets a shot. And that's stopped by Vernon. Out-cutting the angle. John McLean with a hard shot.
Steve Yzerman, the only Red Wing to ever score 50 goals in 2 years. He may get 60 or 65 this year. Boy, Jacques Demers must go to sleep every night with the last thought dancing through his head. Gee, I hope Stevie doesn't get banged up.
Again, like last year, when he was stopped at 50 with a month to go in the season. Superstar, he's really come along.
Poddubny is at center, winning this draw. Back to Robinson. Robinson shot is there in front of the net, but they cleared away rather quickly. And Wesley comes back. Wesley ripped it high on the glass and gets it up across center ice and into the Campbell zone. Lowe coming back. Behind the net, Poddubny is right there in front of the goal. Duchesne, right wing pass. Curry shot ringing off the goal post. Make that Carson who ripped it, and it got by Lemieux and hit the post. Robinson now. He's going around the net, trying to dump it in front. Wales still after it. Vernon down, he scored.
That's the 9th goal scored in this game, and that's the first time somebody's got two. Walt Poddubny scoring. Larry Robinson brought the puck deep into the Campbell Conference zone. Poddubny was there to finish off the play, and we've got a one-goal hockey game, Harry, 5-4 for the Campbells.
A nice pass out right here. Tocchet over to Poddubny. Mike Vernon had no chance at all. One of the things that makes this game different than most league games, Dick, is, other than the obvious difference in speed and skill, very few shoot-ins by either team.
Well, we're back to one goal. 5-4. The Campbells still leading. That's Gretzky coming away from Brown. Curry moving up. turning at the blue line. Curry gets it to the far side. Campbell sent everybody in there with 3 Wales Conference players near the line, and Rob Brown one of them, but he won't get up to it before Suter. To Curry. He goes to the far side to Robitaille. Gretzky is up there with him. Robitaille leaves it for Gretzky. Nice pass to Suter, and he couldn't get a shot. Suter tried to dump it in front, and Lemieux got in front of that pass out, and then he held it with the Campbell Conference pressing. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period, they're a goal apart. The Campbell Conference leading 5-4. Gretzky wins the draw, but the Wales Conference on it very quickly, and this is Coffey getting a long pass ahead, coming in on that side with the shot, and Vernon again cutting the angle. Gretzky comes over to help. Bobby Smith on the boards. Gretzky takes the pass near center. Gretzky moves up across the line, looking around, picking his way in, gets it back. Suter couldn't play it. It's out over the line, and McPhee just held it there for a moment, left it for Deneen. Robitaille to Gretzky. Here's Reinhardt, trying to get it back to Gretzky. Reinhardt still with it. Now he left it in the corner. Curry turning around inside that blue line. In on the boards and back of the net goes Gretzky. Holds it there. Gretzky looking out front. Gretzky to Robitaille. He's knocked down. Gretzky will go to the boards and pick it up again. Slapped at it. Deneen there against him now. Deneen got it away from the great one and moved back out to center ice. Robitaille misses it. They make changes now as they're near the 7-minute mark. Here's Coffey speeding away. Coffey trying to do it himself. Mullen took it away from him. Messier moving up on the play, got it in front. And the Wales Conference just get it out. That was Brian Mullen. Back in Coffey. Scores! Make that Joe from Mullen again. Coffey was trapped, and Mullen out of nowhere. That's twice tonight he's done it. Boy, he wastes no time at all.
Why hasn't this guy been in an all-star game before now? Watch the shot he lets go, and he does this on a regular basis, 160 miles from here for the Calgary Flames. The goalie well out of the net, he just couldn't handle a shot that went that quickly. Joe Mullen, one of the underrated stars of the National Hockey League.
You just mentioned stars of the league. If Joey Mullen does that one more time, he's going to walk out of here the big star in the game. I'll tell you, he came out of nowhere, burst in, and Reggie Lemelin still has to be blinking. What a bullet shot. That's John McLean. He's bumped off the puck. The Campbell Conference moving in again now. Messier against Robinson. 6-4 is the score for the Campbell. Ellett played it back. Once again, they just whip it around and a little more organized defensively now. Not as wide open. Checking just a little closer. Nieuwendyk headed up to the blue line to Messier. Messier got it over in front, but Joe Mullen couldn't reach it this time. That's Wesley coming out. Up for McLean. McLean goes in, still hangs on to it. McLean looking in front of the net. Back at the line. Stevens shot blocked. Yzerman nearly got away. Stevens will get back though. Out to the left of Vernon. Manson around the net. Swings away. From LaFontaine, it comes into Cicerelli to Yzerman. And he hit the side of the net on the outside of the post. Opened up again a little bit now. Dubney dropped it in front. Vernon made a big save. Housley kept it in. Went by Ridley, didn't see it. Dubney centered again. Tockett there with the puck turning around. Leaving it for Housley. Housley rolled it ahead. Dubney is shoved into the corner. Ridley left it in the corner. Housley in deep. Starts back out, then for Ridley again. He centered it. Tockett shot is blocked. Tockett on the puck. Great pressure by the Wales Conference now. Puck goes high. It'll go into the corner. Adubny is back of the net. Rick Tocchet there with him. Here's Tocchet centering it. Back of the goal, Lowe trying to come up with it, and Nichols takes it and starts back out. Down to center ice, but passed by Lowe into Yzerman. Yzerman fed it in front of the goal. Nichols turning from the corner, and Tocchet was in the way of that pass. Tocchet getting to center, decides to play it ahead. Ray Bourque charges for the net. Bourque down, puck up hot, he scored! Ridley got the backhander up over Vernon, who was down.
Retired hockey players out there for the Whales. They were trying to get off, I think, when they gained control of the puck at the center ice zone, especially Tocchet, but Ridley had jumped on. And Mike Ridley, ex of the University of Manitoba, now of the Washington Capitals, throws it up high with Vernon down, knocked down in that scramble at the side of the goal post, and we are back to a 6-5, back to a one-goal hockey game. Here it is here. Suter takes out his man. Ridley throws it up high. Harry, not much chance for Vernon.
Suter could not handle Raymond Bourque. That puts him in a large class of defensemen in the National League, and Ridley picked up the garbage and closed the gap.
The time, 9 minutes, 35 seconds.
Mullen at 6:53, and now Ridley at 9:35. One goal again. 6-5. Halfway mark of the third period. Lemieux drops it back. Long pass intended for Brown. Didn't get to him. Suter takes it, fired it in for Hull. Won't reach it though. Lemelin is out of the net. And the veteran goaltender for the Boston Bruins hangs on to it again.
That last scoring play, Ridley from Bourque and Tocchet at 9:36, 6-5. It's a shootout here in Edmonton.
We expected as much. We've got it. 11 goals so far, and no doubt more to come. All one in there for checking, but they get the puck away and out to Neely. Neely comes up over the line. He has Brown with him. Coffey trailing. He's in close, but the Campbells break it up. Carson along the boards, out for Lehman. Lehman brings it up over the line. Fed it off to Hull. Here's Carson, and he drilled a shot that Lemelin stopped in fine style. Neely takes his time. Comes up to Brown, and went by him and into the Campbell zone. Problem clearing this one away. It's Ellett coming down, gets across the line. Ellett stripped of the puck. Manson is back there now covering to Ellett. Dave Ellett turns back to Manson. These two defensemen in their first All-Star game get it out. Robinson shoots it ahead for Mario Lemieux coming in. Here's Neely in front of the net, nearly hit him. And Brown tried to find Lemieux on the other side. He got it. Mario Lemieux with the puck to the corner and front to Neely. And that's a nice save by Vernon on Neely. Gretzky the other way. Coming in. Gretzky now trying to pick apart the defense, and he does a pretty good job, but the pass stopped. Gretzky went after it. It hit his leg, and now Mario Lemieux comes back in. Lemieux goes for the net, drilled a shot on that short side. Vernon covering again. Rob Brown centered it. Campbell's cover up. This is Robitaille all alone. Gretzky was trailing him. Solo job by Robitaille, waiting for players to come up. Curry got in, Robitaille again. Robitaille to Lowe! And Lemelin, another fine save. Gretzky to Curry, that's blocked. Lemieux comes out with Dineen. Dineen comes in. He lost it. Curry again. Curry and Gretzky get over the line. Curry racing in. Curry gets in front, the pass, scored! Great play by Curry. And what a decent pass that was.
I thought that play was offside, but the linesman let it go, and it ended up in the net on a great passing play. Robitaille, Curry, and Gretzky. Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay. The offside was way over to the right, so we can't see it on this one. But when these three guys get throwing it around, this is what happens. I'm sure Robitaille is going to ask Gretzky if he thinks Mr. McNall can talk Mr. Pocklington into selling L.A. Yari Curry.
7-5 now. Curry and Gretzky on the play, but I don't think Gretzky got an assist on that. Get the scoring official for you in a moment. That's Joe Mullen trying to clear it out. Down the ice it goes. Yes, Robitaille from Curry and Gretzky. They're in there again. Leveling down on all fours and holding this one. 7-5, 7-11 left.
The Mullen brothers, as others get in the way. We are 1 goal shy of an all-star record. Most goals in one game is 13 in 1984. Wales 7, Campbell 6, and 7-5 here now.
Steve Yzerman, number 19, on the face-off, winning it. Well, Bernie Nichols up the blue line. Yzerman tried to tip it to Nichols. That didn't work. Coffey slipped it ahead. LaFontaine is stopped at the blue line. McLean trying to feed it in. Nichols gets away with it. Nice play up to Yzerman. Backhander stopped by Lemelin. Nichols in after it. Nichols centered it. And it's picked up by LaFontaine, who got it out of the zone. Now Bork to McLean. John McLean goes to the corner. LaFontaine will take it on the far side back to Coffey. He just flipped a high one in. Bounces down in front of Vernon. Had to be careful. Maxson bumped by McLean. Now Ellen after it. Gets it out of the zone. Bork to LaFontaine. To Mullen. Getting it in front of the net. Mullen again. Going in. Mullen couldn't get a shot. Yzerman turns and comes out. Here's Nichols. Nichols up across the line. Nichols shooting. That hit a stick and missed the net. Again near center, Brian Mullen. Just happy to shoot it in because the Wales Conference want to make changes. Duchesne. Ahead it goes and all the way down the ice. Icing waved off. Robinson back. Wales Conference trying to get back in it. Up across the line. Dubney dropped it. Saved by Vernon. Dubney again centered it. Here's Hull. Hull coming up across the line with Lehman. Score! Carson got the rebound and put it in.
Jimmy Carson scored a lot of goals for the Oilers this year. Gets a little bit of good luck on this one. But goal scorers always get good luck. A nice pass there by Hall, a rebound. And I'm not sure that Carson got a stick on it or the rebound came off his skates and went in. I can't believe the Edmonton Oilers would dare trade Jimmy Carson. He's going to get over 60 goals. He's just 20 years old. And I keep reading that he might go. I don't think Glenn Sather will make that move for any but about 6 or 8 players in the league. And the ones that I've heard that he might make it for, I'm sure he won't.
The Campbell Conference goal scored by Carson.
Red Hall and Gary Lehman assisting on the Carson goal at 14:35. And the Wales in a little bit of a hole now. Robinson comes up. The pass slipped by everybody. Mike Ridley in the corner gets it back out of his pocket. Ridley takes it again and just barely missed Tocchet with that pass. Off the boards. Tocchet shot. Hit a leg. Tocchet again. Fired it over in front of the net. Reinhardt cleared it up to Gretzky. There goes Robitaille going in. And he was stopped by Lemelin. Robinson turns and comes back out. Laid it down on the left side. Wales just hang on to it. Ridley goes to the corner. Curry is after him. Ridley got it by Curry to the other side. Tocchet whipped it back to the blue line. Robinson fired it. Decent shot. And Vernon made a nice save. He went down to stop it. Shooter turning around in the zone. Shooter's pass. And Curry across center. Takes his time, leaving it for Gretzky. Gretzky into Curry. And Lemelin saw the tip coming and stopped it. Puck is loose in there, though. Brown brings it out. Long pass stopped. Again, Gretzky turning, but loses it. Lemieux coming up. Mario Lemieux stopping inside the line. Feeds a pass into Housley. He drilled it off the arm of Vernon. Neely going after it. To Brown. Lemieux comes in there to help. Lemieux got it out front. But the Campbell Conference is away with Gretzky. Gretzky and Mullen. Gretzky in front. Now he shoots, but the net is off the Magnus. As Joe Mullen went right in there with Reggie Lemelin.
And is Reggie okay? Let's hope so. He's not moving too quickly down there.
Joe Mullen telling his old teammate Reggie Lemelin, get up. I didn't run into you that hard.
Reggie is okay. He's on his feet. Pretty good collision. Gretzky doing his thing. Hanging on, Harry, and here it comes.
Joe Mullen was going to the net hoping to get a pass from Gretzky. By the time Wayne shot it, he hit Joe right on the NHL crest. There's Walter Gretzky. I don't know whether any father in the history of hockey has enjoyed watching his boy be as successful as Wayne has.
Wales Conference trailing by 3. Coffey got the puck out. Deneen just missed it up the blue line. Here's Bobby Smith. Away from Messier. He centered it. Loose puck in front of the goal, and Manson takes it. Manson pass stopped by Bork. Bud Ellen covers on that play. Joe Mullen tried to hit Nieuwendyk, but it went too far for him. Mullen left it for Messier, turning around. Messier went down. Mullen takes it. Nieuwendyk, Messier's alone, going in, he scores!
So as Paulina's mother celebrates along with this Pro Campbell Conference crowd at 17-14, Harry, third period. We've got our 14th goal in the game. That's an all-star record.
Messier had been in a long time and he was tired, but he found enough energy to put that in. Then he steps on a broken stick that was lying there and slides dangerously into the corner of the rink. It was the goalie's stick. And Messier, who's playing injured, and maybe you haven't noticed that great Messier speed, but he is not 100%, but he found enough percent to put his team in the driver's seat with 2:46 to go.
The record-breaking goal comes at 17-14, and McLean is going in now. He missed that attempt on the short side. He's got it relayed back. It comes in front. LaFontaine is covered. Again back at the goal. McLean out front. Got a pass away. It hit a skate. Duchesne is covering. Into the far corner, Brian Mullen. Back to the line. It's tipped right to Vernon. And he holds it. Nieuwendyk and Joe Mullen assisted on Messier's goal at 17-14.
Well, if Mike Vernon is able to maintain this victory, he will be the first Campbell Conference goalie to win a game since our own John Garrett.
All right.
9-5 now with 2:10 left to play. Vernon covering on that shot. We suspected the way the players were talking at the skate today that we were going to get a full effort, and we have certainly seen that, and we were going to get a lot of goals. Well, we've set a record. 9-5 score. 14 and counting. Robinson from the blue line. Feeds it across the line. McLean slapped it. Vernon covered. Loose puck. Vernon scrambling for it. Does not find it. And the Campbell Conference will just roll it out. 1:50 left in this all-star game from Edmonton. And the Campbells go back. Robinson nearly picked it off at the blue line. Hall is racing up there for the Campbells, going in. He's around the net, centered it. Lemelin covered. Robinson flipped it ahead, couldn't get it out. Kept in by Hull, but now McLean will bring it away to center ice. Ridley up there with him. Hull tried to stop the play and couldn't. But Dubney moving in along the board. Suter checking him. Suter, a glove pass, so that'll be called. as it went right to Carson. And they stop it with 1:09 left in this game.
That All-Star game record, 14 goals have been scored. Mario Lemieux's team has 5. He has 1 assist.
Owsley slapped the puck in back of the net. Covering on the play was Coffey. Final minute now. Gretzky takes over. He's had a fine hockey game tonight, number 99 for the Campbell Conference. Manson in front of the net. Mullen going for another goal. Took the shot. It was blocked and steered down the ice. Vernon will leave the net, but now he sees Ellett coming back. So he gets back in. 35 seconds to play. Gretzky and Mullen. To Gretzky. Takes his time. Back in front. Here's a chance for Ellett. And Lemelin somehow got a piece of it. Gretzky obviously trying to set it up. Now he's doing it again. Mullen is up there. Mullen gets in front of the net for Gretzky. As he tried to find him, poked it loose. It's at the line, but now out. Tocchet gets it down the ice. Tocchet in, dropped it. Only 5 seconds left. It bounces to the boards, and this 40th All-Star game from Edmonton has ended in a 9-5 win for the Campbell Conference. And a fine exhibition it was. There you see the third period. Podubny for the Whales gave him a life. Mullen out of nowhere to score for the Campbells. Then Ridley, and then Robitaille, Carson, and Messier. And that was it. A fine game. We hope you've enjoyed it from Edmonton. We'll have more for you. 9-5, the final score. The Campbell winning. And we're waiting for the announcement of the most valuable player in tonight's 40th NHL All-Star game.
Well, Slats say there has snapped his string, Harry, after some losses in All-Star competition. He gets there often enough with the Stanley Cup victories, of course. Glenn here in his home building, where he coaches the Oilers and manages them, presidents them. He has won an All-Star game.
Ray Bork of Boston, and the Flyers' Rick Tocchet assisting at 9:35. The Campbell's 7th goal, his 3rd career All-Star goal, scored by the Kings' Luc Robitaille.
Well, Wayne Gretzky's return to the Northlands Coliseum was eventful, and his daughter Pauline is not going to remember any of those great plays by Wayne.
Until they sit her down in front of a VCR about 6 or 7 years from now.
I thought Gretzky was marvelous in the last 2 minutes on that last shift trying to set up Joe Mullen, when he easily could have had a good scoring chance himself, but he looked for Mullen.
A classy move by Glenn Sather, trying to get Joe Mullen, his arch enemy, his hat trick, by replacing Robitaille on the line with Gretzky and Curry for the last minute. Sather has got a heart, contrary to a lot of popular belief.
Gretzky, no doubt, will be one of the players considered for the MVP. You could look at all 4 goaltenders. Boy, the shots tonight were 38-37, and you could call them all quality shots, I think, Dick.
Well, the crowd gave these teams quite an ovation when the game ended, Bob, and they were royally entertained. You mentioned several times during the show, and it was a nice ovation. It was, I don't think it was so much a home team ovation as an appreciation. Here's the announcement.
The award was chosen by a vote of members of the Professional Hockey Writers Association. Our winner will receive a new car for his outstanding effort during tonight's 40th National Hockey League All-Star Game. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join us in congratulating the 1989 All-Star Most Valuable Player, number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
Dad, I guess, is happy one more time.
And I can guarantee you, Bob, there are 39 players out there on the ice that agree with that choice.
You know, Harry, when they introduced Gretzky in the pre-game ceremonies, I noticed players on both teams were applauding and helping in the standing O that he received here, where he started all his great hockey in Edmonton.
Well, I guess the homecoming night wasn't all that happy for him one way or another, but look at the smile on Wayne's face right now. And Harry, he has 3 more games to play in this building. A little more important as Janet applauds. I don't know where Pauline is, if she's still around. But happiness all around in the Gretzky clan, and with good reason tonight.
Well, Glenn Sather making the move today to add Dave Brown. The next Gretzky versus Edmonton games are going to be a little more intense, and there could be the odd drop of blood.
More than 2 minor penalties, you're telling me.
That's right.
That's all there was tonight in typical All-Star game fashion as the traditional handshakes take place.
Well, you know, one of the reasons why I think the game was such a great offensive talent is that there were 12 defensemen, all of them offensive stars for their team. Most teams usually have 1 or 2.
9-5 the Campbells, and we'll return to our All-Star coverage in a moment.
Thank you again, all teams. Thank you. You guys are first, the volunteers.
We're back at the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton. This was not your average 9-to-5 day for the stars of the National Hockey League, although as you can see it was. The Campbell Conference wins over the Whales, and that's the victorious dressing room. 75 shots on goal in this game, 14 goals to establish an NHL record. Wayne Gretzky had a 3-point night and, of course, was named the MVP the second time in 6 years, the second time for Wayne in an All-Star game. This is the goal that made it 2-0 for the Campbell Conference. After Wayne had set up Yari Curry, he then scored himself on Sean Burke, and he had the crowd out of its seat here at Northlands Coliseum and really put on a nice show. Wayne Gretzky, the MVP of the 40th annual NHL All-Star Game in Edmonton. Stay tuned for more Molson Hockey Net in Canada on CBC. This is a look at the 2 games we'll have for you on Saturday. The Canadiens and Leafs host Patrick Rivals. I should tell you, time does not permit an interview with Wayne Gretzky, the MVP, this evening, but his 9th All-Star goal leaves him 1 shy of the record for career goals in All-Star games held by Gordie Howe. It was a terrific night for Gretzky and for all who love this game. 9-5, the Campbells win for Glenn Sather. From all of us, thanks for watching, and good night.
Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. What beer's all about. By Ford of Canada, where quality is more than a commitment. Quality is job one. And by Esso, retailers and agents across Canada.
The head of TV Sports is Arthur Smith, the executive producer of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC, Ron Harrison. Tonight's game at Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, produced by Larry Yzerman. Our show this evening, directed by Rick Chisholm. Our isolation director, Brant Haywood. And our thanks to the rest of the people who comprised our technical and production all-star teams tonight. This has been a CBC Sports presentation in association with Polestar Communications.